Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Fun Speculation. Mav here, and this is MavCast and solo streams that we do here on the channel. Appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in to this kind of impromptu random Sunday night stream. You guys all rock, and I see lots of people here already hanging out, ready to get the show going. So thank you for waiting and being patient and hanging out to get this thing started today. Big day for Xbox. If you caught the monumentous ILP Iron Lords podcast this morning, that was an amazing show. Congrats to them on a completely awesome turnout. Everybody was excited. This has been a big week for Xbox. This has been a big week for gaming. ABK looks like it's going to be closing maybe tomorrow, potentially at the earliest. And then you could have potentially the other scenario would be that they come to an agreement with Activision to delay potentially a couple weeks just to appease the CMA and get this, let them do their little investigation to the divestiture that they're willing to make regarding the cloud in the UK. Regardless, this thing's closing soon, and I still have a good feeling about tomorrow, so we'll see what's going to happen. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I want to say hello to some awesome people here. I see my wife here hanging out. Hey, baby. Thanks for setting the stream up and everything as well. Sub Psycho, sub Boss Mod, Lethal Papa. How you doing? Donald J. Trump 69, Luis Jose, Talos Ray, Lex Liger is here hanging out. Calorie, how you doing? Calorie, a fan. How's it going, a fan? Let's see. We got the Kato here hanging out. RSJ fan, Poison Maniac. What's up? What's up? I don't know if I already said Psycho, but hey, Psycho, what's up, dude? Tom from Toonami's here hanging out. Alvin is here hanging out. Appreciate you all being here as usual. And yeah, there's a lot to talk about. There's some new news that came out today. Oh, yo, what's up, Tando? I see you there too. Don Sicario, Wilfry Rosario as well. There's some new news that came out today regarding Jim Ryan bending the knee. Remember, Jim had said, no, this is not good enough. We can't sign a deal like this. We want ZeniMax Bethesda games also. Oh, we don't even want to sign a deal. We just want the regulators to do their job and block it. Yeah, fuck that. What's up, Goat Status? What's up, Snooky Jackson? J Gaming 1986. Polybaba Cyber, how's it going? J Gaming 1986 says Jimmy Ryan bent the knee and took a worse deal than the original one. Els, yes, there was better deals. We talked about this, I feel like a couple months ago on the channel. There was at one point where we said, PlayStation, if you are going to be smart, that was the time to sign a deal when they had some leverage. They had leverage at one point. They have now lost all leverage, and they just had to take what Phil was willing to offer them. Jim Ryan begging, please, can you still give us 10 years? At least just 10 years? Turns out this 10-year deal for PlayStation doesn't even include all of Activision Blizzard games. It's just for Call of Duty. It's just a Call of Duty deal for PlayStation. They had a chance to get a sweetheart deal. They had a chance to get more from ABK, but no, all they get is a guarantee for 10 years of COD. And I think that's more or less just because Phil Spencer raised his hand on the stand and said, yes, you're going to get COD still on PlayStation. So he's like, yeah, we'll give you the paper to prove it. So that way nothing comes up to bite us in the ass in any kind of appeals process down the line. What a day for Xbox. There's also some breaking news as well that has been happening over the last hour or so with Wario64 tweeting this out and Grub quote tweeting as well. So I think that's pretty much good enough for me. And it's probably good enough for you guys if you have faith in those people, which I do a lot, that Xbox Live Gold is going to be phasing out, and there's going to be a new Game Pass tier to replace it. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Call of Duty. We're going to talk about Jim Ryan being a dumbass and not using the leverage when he had it, instead having to bend the knee and beg to Phil to still give him the 10-year piece of paper. And that's what they got. That's all they got. Remember back to the emails that was offered way back when, Phil, these came out, and this was quote tweeted from Tom Warren. Shout out to Tom Warren, who's been doing an absolutely incredible job posting news regarding ABK, Microsoft, and all this stuff. And you can tell he's like, he wants to move on from it, but he's still doing a great job posting this stuff. And Tom Warren said, Microsoft has confirmed to The Verge that Sony's 10-year Call of Duty deal is limited to Call of Duty. Microsoft originally offered to keep existing Activision console titles on Sony, including future versions of current Activision games on PlayStation until the end of 2027. This new deal does not offer any of that. Jim failed. This is grounds for him to, like, potentially, I don't know, like, that was a mistake. We talked about it before. He had the opportunity. He did not take advantage of it. But nope. And this email back that was part of the FTC ABK hearing came out. And this was from Phil Spencer to Jim Ryan. Jim, I'm writing to follow up on our prior discussions about Microsoft's intent to honor all existing agreements between Activision and Sony and their desire to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. As you'll recall, on January 31st, 2022, I sent you a written agreement with my signature memorializing Microsoft's commitment to Sony. Among other things, the proposed agreement provided that Microsoft would keep all existing Activision console titles on Sony, including future versions in the Call of Duty franchise or any other current Activision franchise on Sony through December 31st, 2027. I've said before that this is the right thing to do for gamers and for the industry, and I stand by that. Well, Jim said, no, I want ZeniMax Bethesda games also. Jim was like, that's inadequate. No, I don't even want a deal. I just want the regulators to do their job and block the deal, is what he said when ABK actually went to try and update their marketing agreement with Activision Blizzard. And nope. Not going to happen. Jim said, nope, we have confidence. FTC is going to block this deal. Nope. You lost, Jim. And not only did you lose that, you lost things that could have been agreed upon within Microsoft. You could have gotten this sweetheart deal, but no. You had to be this cocky SOB, and now you've been in the knee, taking whatever Phil will give you, and it's only for COD. It's only for COD, as confirmed by Tom Warren. I also saw Jez from Windows Central confirm that it was also only for Call of Duty as well. Whew. Jim, you made a mistake, my friend. Oh my God. What were you thinking? Not going hard when you had the leverage. You had the leverage. You could have done something way back when. This was back in 2022. And January 31st, 2022 is when that offer was made. A year and a half later, he gets less. That's what you get, Jim, for trying to fight this along the way, trying to mislead the regulators, mislead the FTC, get them to try and not allow your business to be damaged from the Microsoft acquisition of ABK. Man, you screwed up, bro. What a big L for Jim Ryan. Well, you're gonna get your Call of Duty. There's no guarantee. What if it's probably gonna be a long time, but what if there's other games that they want to make sequels to? Any future Crash titles or anything like that, Tony Hawk's, all that kind of stuff that had been existing franchises, they could have had a guarantee that at least through 2027, that's 4 years from now, and that was 5 years from then. They would have had a guarantee that any of those future games would still be on PlayStation, but no. They could still get them, but it ain't no guarantee. You may not be getting Crash. You may not be getting, if there's a new Spyro, you may not be getting Tony Hawk. You may not be getting anything like that, Jim. Wow, what a big L. Man, he screwed up here. Shout out to the chat. We got 146 people here hanging out. Thank you all for tuning in again to Fun Speculation and watching this content. If you do like the content here, hit that like button, share it out, sub to the channel, notification bell, all that kind of cool stuff. It greatly helps us. You guys rock. I see also lots of awesome names here. Scorpio, what's up? CEO Salt, the best salt. Yeah, I agree. Tom from Toonami, member for 6 months, says, think heads of Sony are pissed at Jim Ryan right now. I don't know. Was Jim just a a tool from PlayStation? Was he just following orders? I don't know, right? Like, was all this his idea? I mean, we saw the emails directly from Jim. It seemed like he was potentially the one making the decisions here. And maybe there could be fallout. Like, the damage for PlayStation could be greater than it would have been previously if he had accepted the deal at the time. He didn't accept it at the time. I guess he had faith. I don't know, misled. Maybe he followed Jason Schreier and these other people's advice too much on Twitter. I don't know what he was thinking, but he lost. He lost. The FTC lost. The CMA is going to have to bend the knee here as well and allow Microsoft to do some kind of divestiture of a small sort that's not really going to impact anybody any kind of way. But man, what a week for Xbox. What a week for Microsoft. What a shitty week for PlayStation. I'm actually happy for PlayStation gamers because I feel like they're going to get a more competitive Sony that's going to have to come out stronger and give better offerings for PlayStation gamers. I have a PlayStation. I don't play it very much. I hope that potentially they have a service that I feel like subscribing to from this. I feel like hopefully they start doing better and put more games in their service day one because of the pressure that this is going to get. We saw a tweet here from Steven Totillo on not formerly from Kotaku. I forget he's with Axios now, I think, where he mentioned that Microsoft will be the most important third-party publisher on PlayStation. Let that sink in a minute. The most important third-party publisher on PlayStation could be Microsoft? Holy shit. Jim, what were you doing? You had a chance to get those games, also more of them, on your platform, but you said no. Now all you get's Call of Duty. You may get more. I don't know, but they don't got to. They could have been a guarantee. Oof. Man. Shout out to the chat. Mr. Janet Dark, how you doing, bro? Let's see here. Who else we got? Infinity Doc. He says, it looks like the Game Pass news was supposed to be embargoed. Rip Windows Central, JK. Yeah, big news with Game Pass and Xbox Live Gold. We're going to get into that in a little bit. What's up, Brian? Is he Giabo? I think it says no all multiplat will stay on PlayStation. Probably, but there's no guarantee now. No guarantee now. The deal that they just signed did not include those. What's up, Magnum Westward? How's it going? Anonymous Boss, how you doing? Revive saying, how's it going? I joined at Dark says I should join Switch Online. I used to have that. I don't have it anymore. I will probably rejoin that when there's a new Switch device, when there's a new Nintendo device. But right now it's not worth it because I hate the piece of shit that the games are on now. Sub Samuel Page, how's it going? Says Game Pass coming soon to a PlayStation near you. Oof. My God. PlayStation's just about or not PlayStation. Game Pass is just about to get better also. How's it going, Duke? Sappho, how are you? Cuban Gamer X says I don't think Take-Two want to sell the company. Yeah, I don't think Take-Two's for sale. I think they're in the acquisition phase themselves. They don't think they have any. They're not going to sell before GTA 6 comes out. That would be crazy. GTA 6 comes out, their value is going to shoot through the roof. The Outlaw. What's up, Outlaw? Sega makes more sense because they need a Japanese publisher. Yeah, Sega could be on the table. Everybody's talking acquisitions again now already. Ready for Microsoft to strike the next one. Nate Dogg says, I think that signifies that Project Odyssey is an exclusive. Project Odyssey, is that the Infinity Ward game? And that one could have been anyway because this previous offer was only for existing Activision franchises. Which also, to note, didn't include Blizzard franchises. It just said Activision. I don't know if he meant Activision Blizzard. Diablo is going to stay. I mean, it's already released. They're not going to release a new Diablo for forever now. So I think the Blizzard side might be a little irrelevant unless they they have that survival game from Blizzard, and maybe that's Project Odyssey. I can't remember which one's Project Odyssey, but I know Infinity Ward has a new game. There's the new survival game from Blizzard. That one could be exclusive too. Who knows? It could be exclusive to Xbox and PC. You could also have the new StarCraft game, whatever it is, as well. Supposedly rumors are that StarCraft is not dead, and they are working on a new StarCraft title. Whether it be StarCraft Ghost or StarCraft 3, who knows exactly. Ray White says, Phil was trying to be nice and civil. Cyber says, does that mean they will lose Diablo 4? No, they're going to keep Diablo 4 for sure. I mean, Microsoft's making too much money on that. And you're not going to revoke access for people to buy a game that's already been launched on a platform for sure. Big Poppy Mofongo, where are the animal cookies, Mav? They're in the other room. I need to bring them in here. I keep forgetting. Jason Max, what's up, Jason? Says Sony signing a contract news came out on a Sunday, which means bigger news is coming tomorrow. Stay tuned. That was interesting as well, and we're going to get into that. The timing of this, the timing of the deal that was made today with PlayStation. I find it very interesting. Why would PlayStation go ahead and sign this now on a Sunday and not previously? Now, obviously, the news from the FTC appeal that failed just came back, and they know that they are going to be the ABK is closing. The fact that Sony signed this deal is all the confidence that you guys need. If any naysayers are out there saying ABK is not going to close, Sony signing the deal, that's it, right? There is no more like if, ands, or buts. No more, but Canada, but the CMA could still, but there's New Zealand or Australia. No more if, ands, or buts. These just sound stupid, right? Sony would not sign this deal if there was even the slimmest chance of Call of Duty and all of ABK not belonging to Microsoft. It's belonging to Microsoft. It's done. It is done. It is in the bag. They bent the knee. Jim Ryan came crawling back to Phil saying, Phil, please. Phil, back those emails. I'm sorry. Phil, I'm sorry. Can I still get all of Activision games? Phil's, no, Jim. You cannot. You cannot have that, Jim. Stop being a little bitch, Jim. You can't get that. You should have took it back then, Jim. You fool. That's what Phil says to Jim. Jim's like, but Phil, please, our business will never financially recover from this. Remember that Jim who was talking that bullshit and said out there that they'll never financially recover if there's like some kind of like exclusive content with Call of Duty or whatever, or marketing rights and all that stuff. Oh, come on. Now, Jim was acting a moron. Jim was acting desperate. Jim was lying through his teeth. And now he wants to be like, Phil, please, I'll take all of Activision. ZeniMax Bethesda, I tried to get that. I understand. You're not going to give it to me. I understand. It's too late for ZeniMax Bethesda, but can I at least have all the Activision franchises that you promised me back then? Phil says, shut up, bitch. No, you can't. You should have took it back then, you moron. You just get Call of Duty. Sit down and shut up. And you're only getting that because I said it in court. Dumbass. That's what Phil says. Jim made a mistake. Jim made a mistake. What a mistake he made. Now having to get on his knees and take a lesser deal than was offered before. What a shitty executive. Come on, you should have used the leverage when you had the chance. We talked about it on PM and the PM. We talked about it on Xbox Ultimate. When the time was right, they were going to be screwing themselves over if they didn't take the deal when the leverage was high. When they had leverage in their pocket, phase 2s were announced. We find out the FTC was going to try and block the deal. The CMA was like, nope. They had their chance to get everything they could. And remember, The deal that they would have signed from PlayStation, the deal that PlayStation would have signed with Microsoft at the time was conditional on this deal going forward. But they didn't want to look like they didn't need Call of Duty. They didn't want to look like that Microsoft was willing to make a deal. They wanted to go to court. They wanted to go to the hearing and act like it was inadequate. It was unjust. It just was not right. Microsoft can't own these. What if they make a Christmas skin? Oh my God, we're fucked. If they make a Christmas skin, oh my God. Oh, that's partial foreclosure. What are we going to do if they make a Christmas skin? Oh my God. Resting a case on something as idiotic and stupid as that when they have exclusive content all the time in Call of Duty, as the judge pointed out? They were resting their hopes and dreams and not taking the deal based on a Christmas skin? A partial foreclosure, ideological, dumbass thought about the same shit that they're doing right now? You don't think the judge could see through that? That makes the FTC's case look horrible? And they're resting all of Activision's existing franchises on that? Wow. What a dumbass move, Jim. You suck. I would be upset if I was a PlayStation fan today. Like, if this was on the other side of the coin, right? And Sony was acquiring Activision Blizzard. And as an Xbox gamer, you find out that, okay, well, there was an offer made for like all those existing Activision franchises, not just Call of Duty, all these things guaranteed at least until 2027, December 31st, 2027. That's that whole year. That's 5 years, 4 years from now. You would have had a guarantee as a PlayStation gamer to get all that stuff still. Continuing franchises, new titles, all that kind of stuff. And now you realize that if it was on the other end of the spectrum, if Phil Spencer had said no, and then now he's having to take a lesser deal and the only guarantee is COD, that means that all those other games could potentially be exclusive to PlayStation. I'd be like, Phil, what are you doing, man? Why didn't you take the deal? You had the leverage. Jim screwed up. Fighting this has come back to bite them in the ass. Jim's cockiness, Jim's arrogance has bit PlayStation in the ass with this deal that they had to take as opposed to the prior offer from Microsoft from Phil Spencer. Again, I'm going to read this from Tom Warren. You guys rock, by the way. Again, Tom Warren says, Microsoft has confirmed to The Verge that Sony's 10-year Call of Duty deal is limited to COD. Microsoft originally offered to keep existing Activision console titles on Sony, including future versions of current Activision games on PlayStation, till the end of 2027. Again, this email way back, and this was sent to Jim Ryan in May of 2022, May 23rd, which is my sister's birthday, by the way. It says, Jim, I'm writing to follow up on our prior discussions about Microsoft's intent to honor all existing agreements between Activision and Sony, and our desire to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. As you'll recall, on January 31st, 2022, I sent you a written agreement with my signature memorializing Microsoft's commitment to Sony. Among other things, the proposed agreement provided that Microsoft would keep all existing Activision console titles on Sony, including future versions in the Call of Duty franchise or any other current Activision franchises on Sony through December 31st, 2027. I've said that before. This is the right thing to do for gamers and for the industry, and I stand by that. Well, I guess Phil changed his mind because no longer are they getting that. They are just getting the COD part of this deal for 10 years. That's it. Shout out to Duke Togo, member for 1 month, says Sony will never be able to recover without the Christmas skin. That's right. Donald J. Trump, 69, member for a month, says Jim dropped a bigger deuce on the Cowboys in the playoffs. Oh my God, don't bring up bad memories, dude. Not my Cowboys. Twice in a row against the 49ers. Fuck. Decado says you don't shoot a bear with a BB gun and expect not to get beat the hell up. Yeah, that's a good analogy there. They shot the bear with a BB gun. You know, what a dumbass decision. Will those games, other existing Activision franchises now remain on PlayStation? Who the fuck knows? There's a new Tony Hawk, a new Crash Bandicoot, a new like Crash Team Racing or whatever. Who knows? Now Microsoft doesn't have to. And whose fault would that be? Would it be Microsoft's fault for going back on what they offered before? Would it be any of their fault? No. You know whose fault it is? Lying, crying, Jim, douchebag Ryan for making a horrible mistake and not taking that when he had the chance. And PlayStation gamers can thank their CEO for that. What a move, Jim. Bravo. Just fucked PlayStation gamers, Jim. Way to go, buddy. I hope the fight was worth it. Pong Soul says, consequences. As John Wick says, consequences. 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 There are consequences for your actions, Jim. And there's consequences from your fight, an ill-advised fight against Microsoft with this ABK acquisition. Might actually come back to haunt you in more ways than one, as other things have been brought up about PlayStation and Sony that have been brought attention to ever since this process started. And you brought that upon yourself. All those documents that had to be given to Congress, all those documents had to be given to the FTC, all of these things. Wow, all of a sudden the FTC is aware of what's going on in Japan. Insane. Sent a letter to Japan about their trade agreement, not thinking it was very fair that PlayStation has such a dominant market share there. That Microsoft's been trying hard, and due to PlayStation's exclusivity deals where they get better pricing for that than Microsoft, may be a little bit unfair in a market such as Japan, and Japan has not been regulating that. Remember, abuse of dominant market position is a thing with regulators. If you got that large of a market share, that's pretty it's pretty damning, you know? Who knows what's going to happen? Maybe nothing will end up happening from it, but the eyes are on them now. Very interesting stuff, and Jim just fucked over PlayStation gamers. Now, it's very possible that Microsoft could say, okay, we're still going to make them exclusive. They don't have to. Murder Hornet says Japan only plays mobile. Well, that should go well with xCloud. Should go good with Candy Crush and King and some stuff that they're doing. Maybe Microsoft goes out and get a mobile game publisher in Japan. Maybe like a Square Enix. Jason Xbot says, just remember Sony is number one. How long? It might be a memory. You're right. Just remember, it might be a memory. At one point, that may be a memory of PlayStation being number one. It may not be the existing the future that we live in. Shout out to the chat again. What's up, 3-Bit? How you doing, bro? At Calorie DM'd me earlier, and he made up a good point. Subcalorie. He said, what if this deal also had potential changes with the marketing agreements? Now, we know there was rumors before about PlayStation trying to get out of their marketing deal because they're so petty, they don't want to pay Microsoft. They don't want the money that they paid to Activision Blizzard for marketing to go to Microsoft. Right? So that was a rumor about Jim trying to get this marketing agreement done before next year. Who knows? Maybe there could have been some potential discussions with that as well. I don't know. But we'll see what happens. I think that this next game, the one that's this year, which I think is Modern Warfare 3 Hellstrom or something like that, may not actually may be the last one to have marketing rights with Sony. And after that, does this mean potentially the games could be in Game Pass sooner than later? How much did Jim have to bend the knee here? We already know he bent it quite a bit. And we already know he bent it quite a bit because he didn't get the same deal he was offered back last year. Gaimsharc with the $5. Appreciate you, bro. Says, so the next time Sony buys a developer, should they be required to release their games on Xbox after court precedent? Thanks for what you do, Mav. Hey, appreciate you. Thanks for being here. And well, here's the thing, man. There really was no court precedent for that now. None of the regulators, including the CMA, the FTC is the only one so far that had really tried to make a big deal about PlayStation. Even the CMA has said that their math was wrong and they were no longer considering PlayStation. I'll get your super chat, bro. Thanks, boss. I didn't forget you. I just get to this one because it's kind of relevant right now. But the PlayStation was trying to put their name in all of these regulatory bodies and make a case with all of them about, oh, there's harm to the consumer because there's harm to us. You know, Xbox going to keep Call of Duty exclusive, even though they had already been made an offer and they were lying through their teeth and all this kind of stuff. The potential harm, partial foreclosure, Christmas skin, all that stupid stuff, right? Then you have every single regulator except the FTC, including the CMA, say, PlayStation, you don't matter here. The CMA and the EU got the concessions with the European Commission got the concessions in the EU. Those were about the cloud market, about the cloud. There's no precedent now that anybody has to bring anything anywhere. Now, Microsoft was willing to do this because honestly, it made sense for their business and they want to make Call of Duty more playable in lots of different places. But really, there's no precedent. Now, the precedent, if you actually want to look at it, is that if a company acquires another publisher and the foreclosure agreement or the foreclosure thought process about keeping titles exclusive to the ecosystem is really a non-factor. PlayStation tried to make it a factor. None of the regulators bought it except the FTC, and that's why their case was so horrible. The judge didn't even buy it. Now, may that have gone differently if the judge didn't see evidence that it would have been more favorable in Microsoft's to make it exclusive if they could have proved the fact that Microsoft would? Maybe. I don't know. But there's no like order saying that they have to. Microsoft didn't even have to do this. They didn't even have to sign this deal with PlayStation. This was pity. This was pity from Phil to Jim. Felt bad for the man after being so dumb and desperate for so long, saying, hey, dude, you know, I'll give you something. Okay, Call of Duty. We're gonna do it anyway here, right? You moron. Sent the email asking for ZeniMax Bethesda. You sent an email to me asking for ZeniMax Bethesda games. You that cocky, Jim? Now you get this. Here, take it. Desperate fool. Jim. Whew. All right. Hold on. We're going to have some company here. I got to switch things up. Everybody, you're about to be surprised. I gotta set this up here real quick. because I'm not using Zoom, Pong. So we're gonna have to mix this up. And maybe, hey, Pong, can you hop in the Discord? This is like an impromptu PM in the PM about to happen here, fellas. Let me set this up and get one of the greats a link here. Oh, here he is. All right, hold on. Pong, can you hear me, bro? Can't hear you. All right, I'm going to bring Pong up here. He's going to be here in a second.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but you're really low. Let's see here. I don't know if it's my end. Let me see what your audio's at. Say something.
How about this?
Oh, that's way better. Yeah, there you go.
I'm here. How is everybody?
What's up, man? Thanks for joining.
All right, hold on. I got to mute YouTube. All right, there we go. Yeah, sorry. It was, I don't know why I had everything set to my Nano, but then everything went to my headset, my gaming headset. So that was weird.
If you update your PC, sometimes that shit happens.
Nah, I didn't update my PC, but it's just being weird in Discord. That's
Welcome
fine.
to MavCast, Pong.
Hey, everybody. What is freaking going on? What a Sunday afternoon. Holy cow. This is what I'm talking about. This is good stuff right here.
Been going off a little bit. Maybe a little hard. I don't know if you think or no.
What?
On
going
Jim.
off hard? Nah, I mean, he knew the risks. Again, we talked about this so many damn times, Mav, over the past 18 months. He knew the risks. He knew that he could lose all leverage that he had at any given moment if this deal was going to go through. And so he was playing the game. And he lost. And that's exactly what happens. And like I said,
oh, we got you on cam also?
Yeah, I'm on cam. Like we talked about, if the deal went this way, if all the regulatory bodies came to a conclusion and the deal was going to go through, Jim was going to have to accept whatever Phil was willing to give him. Now, we didn't know if Phil was going to continue to play nice guy, if they were going to continue to try to put out a hand to say, hey, guess what, everybody? We're the good guys here. Even though we went through this big, long, arduous kind of process to get here and Jim was battling us the whole way, we're still going to extend a hand.
Yeah.
We didn't know if that was going to happen or not. Well, like I've said, today, Jim found out there's consequences for his actions. Pure and simple. He had a better deal on the table, and we now know that Microsoft did take what he did to heart and said, you know what, Jim, guess what? You can have COD. That's something we've agreed to. It's something we've been on the witness stand promising we're going to do. But you're not getting anything else. You're not going to get a damn thing else from us, Jim. If you want something, come talk to us. We'll discuss it. But as of right now, you can sit there and worry and wonder what games will ever come to PlayStation, if any, outside of COD from this deal. And I think it's fair play. It's a fair play by Microsoft. It's a fair play by Xbox to do this. Again, I would have been much harder on them than even they have been. But at the end of the day, this is, hey, Jim's got to face the music. He played the game, lost, And so here we are today. And like I said last night on the Shop podcast, if I were Microsoft and Xbox, I wouldn't go out of my way in any way, shape, or form to help Sony. It can be cordial, it can be business, but I'm not going to go out of my way for these a-holes and give them anything outside of what I have to. And that's exactly what we saw today with the 10-year deal.
Yeah,
Period.
for sure. Also, shout out to Anonymous Boss who did hit us with that $5 super chat. It says, yo, Mav, I got mad at a pony today. Some people just don't think straight on that side. There's a lot of hurt feelings and stuff out there right now. And, you've seen people, not even Jim Ryan was really thinking straight. So I can't blame them. And I agree, Pong. The thing is, I don't know, is like, if you're a PlayStation gamer, right, and you only play on PlayStation, now there's a chance if there's a new Crash Bandicoot or a new Crash Team Racing or a new Spyro or any of these other franchises, Tony Hawk, anything at all from Activision Blizzard that's an existing franchise besides Call of Duty that you were guaranteed to get in the future. Where they had the opportunity to at least guarantee all of those from existing franchises, new titles until 2027.
Right.
Like, if I'm a PlayStation only player right now, I'm saying, what the hell, Jim? You may have just screwed me out of some games. Now, the question is, will Microsoft actually not put those games on PlayStation? I think maybe because it wasn't in this offer or this agreement. I mean, maybe that's all we need to look into. I don't know.
Well, the big thing, Mav, is that every single regulatory body except for the FTC, including the CMA, had completely dismissed foreclosing in the console market. That means that Xbox is free and clear. Again, yes, on the stand against the FTC, they made commitments that they would keep Call of Duty right on PlayStation and that they would extend them the same offer they extended everybody else. So that's the only guarantee there ever was at this point, because they set, all the other regulatory bodies, including the CMA, said, even if Xbox, Microsoft would make the decision to take all the Activision Blizzard games off of PlayStation and make them exclusive, including COD, that it would not be a foreclosure on Sony. So they don't have to anymore, Mav. They can do exactly what they've done with ZeniMax. They can run it the exact same way, with the exception being Call of Duty now. And that's all there is.
Yeah. And Call of Duty, like, they were never going to do that in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we talked about leverage like several times, and we were saying, like, man, they're if they don't do it now, they're going to lose their opportunity, right?
Yep.
If they stuck to their guns, they even went harder and said, we don't want a deal. We want them to block. We want the regulators to block it. Right. So as hard as they were going with that, they never thought to consider maybe they considered it, they just didn't care about the ramifications, because did they have that much faith that this was going to get blocked? I mean, that's a horrible bet if you're Jim Ryan to make. Like, I mean, maybe that's what he was being advised to do, but like, anybody really looking at this for what the case was realized that PlayStation, that was a dumb argument to begin with, right? Like, the FTC was biting it. Maybe they had faith that somehow the FTC was going to win, but like, that's a big gamble, right?
It's a giant gamble. And obviously it was a gamble that Jim was willing to take, or Sony was willing to take at this moment in time. But this is the exact same thing we talked about almost from the beginning. Once we started learning kind of where this deal was going, Mav, that everybody was so focused on Call of Duty as the grand treasure chest of all of this. And we were sitting here going, please continue to focus on that Call of Duty, because the rest of the chest that they're getting away with is full of diamonds, and that's what Xbox and Microsoft really want. They could care less about Call of Duty at the end of the day. Sure, is it important? Of course, it's part of the valuation that they gave Activision Blizzard, a large portion of that valuation, and why they're spending $70 billion. But they never had the intention, I firmly believe, to ever pull it off of PlayStation, at least not for 10 years. Because again, the value to them to keep it on PlayStation is that much more. It's all the rest of that treasure chest that's so important to them. So yeah, no, I think that Jim does honestly believe that the marketing rights to Call of Duty and having that brand recognition was with Call of Duty at this moment in time is that important to Sony that he was willing to risk the rest of it. Obviously.
Yeah. And now they now it's
go
like
ahead.
they don't really get any like great
No.
benefit other than what they were already going to get before.
Correct.
You know,
Correct.
like,
Exactly. And again, we got the circus out here. There's been a bunch of people trying to spin this and say that Sony got a better deal now. Listen, no, Sony did not get the better deal. They got the same deal as everybody else. Period. That's it.
they got the
Nothing
same deal
more,
as
nothing less.
Boosteroid. That's what they think is Sony right now. I mean,
Correct. Correct.
pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Boosteroid and like Ubitus and these companies we never even heard of before, you know, got the cloud gaming deals about, you know, Call of Duty. And I think even they got better deals because they're guaranteed to get other Xbox first party games in their services, right?
And a lot of those deals were for Xbox first party games and all of Activision Blizzard games, right?
Yeah.
So
they probably got the same deal that Nintendo got.
Correct. That's exactly what it was. That's probably exactly what it is. And I think honestly, at this point, obviously, if everything we heard, that Bowser was extremely happy to get a phone call from Phil after they announced the acquisition and the offer to say, hey, would you like to get Call of Duty on Nintendo? Bowser was supposedly extremely ecstatic. He's been wanting Call of Duty for a long time.
Yeah.
But obviously, as we heard Bobby Kotick, Bobby was never going to do that, right? It didn't make fiscal sense, and he didn't want to put in the effort to make it work on the Switch, right? So now, with a willing partner, I think now if Nintendo wants something else on their new Switch down the road from Activision Blizzard, I think Microsoft might be willing to cut a deal. Xbox might be willing to cut a deal with Nintendo, but Sony, no, they're going to tell them to go take a hike, or they're going to ask for an exorbitant amount of money if they want one of those games, right? And I think that's where the leverage is, because again, they're not worried anymore about the regulatory bodies. There's no regulatory bodies that come back and say, hey, well, now we really got questions about the console market. No, no, that's done. So now, again, they're free and clear to do what they want, which is fantastic, again, because that's what they really wanted at the end of the day. It was not about COD. It was about the rest of Activision Blizzard. And so now they've got free reign. They don't have to worry about that stuff outside of honoring the deals that they've put on the table for everybody and making sure that the regulatory bodies see that they're giving it the best effort. And again, Jim, time and time again, not just with this case, but since the beginning of this generation, there is always going to be CEO speak. Phil is no different. Phil has used some double speak and some, questionable terminology when it comes to certain aspects to their gaming divisions. But Jim Ryan, more than ever, is a complete bullshitter.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Again, if you're CEO, I don't have a problem. In business is bullshit. Mav, and you and I both know this. So there's a lot of bullshit in business.
Yeah.
But the fact that Jim was out here threatening to not give up PlayStation 6 dev kits for the future Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Really? Okay, Jim. I mean, again, there's no other way to look at this than he bent the knee. That he finally, there was no more branch for him to go out on. And it was either he takes the deal, bends the knee, or he falls.
Yeah.
And again, he wasn't going to do that to the fan base because there's no way PlayStation would ever be able, he personally would never be able to satisfy his customers with any excuse, any reason as to why he gave up Call of Duty completely and went scorched earth with Xbox. There's just nothing. The masses would not understand it. All they would see would be Xbox has Call of Duty, PlayStation doesn't. Guess I'm going to get an Xbox now.
Yeah.
That's it. So,
man,
crazy day, man.
Crazy. I mean, this. Well, I'm gonna get. And I don't know how long you have. If you want to stick around for the whole thing.
Yeah. I got time.
We're gonna end up diving into the new Xbox live changes with all that as well in a little bit.
Talk about business decisions.
Yeah. I got a question though.
Yeah.
I mentioned this earlier before you hopped in, but Calorie had DM'd me with a thought about like, is there a chance that this new agreement that they made with PlayStation could have had anything involving that marketing rights with the rumors that Jim had wanted to kill off
Get
the
rid of
marketing payments to once this deal's consummated.
Yeah, I think that's probably. I don't know if it'll be in that specific deal. That'd probably be a separate negotiation that they write up documents. But I think we'll hear about that one way or the other if there was something done with that marketing deal. If they did give Jim back his 10% and said that's fine, we'll let you out of your deal. I think that will happen after the acquisition is done. Once they formally announce it and it's closed, I think then they will figure that out. And I think we'll hear about that afterwards. I don't think it would be included specifically in this one. Just because I think this was just for future Call of Duties, and it's Microsoft cutting a deal like they did with everybody else because they don't technically own ABK. It's just more of a commitment deal that, yes, it's legally binding. If we close Activision Blizzard King, you will receive Call of Duty for the next 10 years, any iteration. So I think that's all this is. That other one will be separate. And obviously they probably talked about it. I mean, there's no question that Jim probably talked to Phil about it if he's still under that mindset. And like I said, if I was Xbox, there is no reason not to give Jim his 10% back and cut that marketing rights off and say, Game Pass, here we go. Call of Duty out the gates. We're not waiting. And I think that would be the right thing to do for Xbox. So
at least we know the dialogue's open now.
Yeah, it has to be.
And PlayStation's being a lot more willing to make deals now, obviously, as well, if they're willing to take this one, as opposed to what they were being offered before. You know, I mean, God, that's got to burn a little bit, you know?
I'm sure. I mean, they knew, Mav. They knew from the beginning going into this what this would do. Maybe not to the extent that they were exposed, obviously, internally, but they had to know what the end result would be if they lost. Like, there was no going back. Like that. Again, sure, they might have had the mindset, well, maybe Phil will play nice with us, but obviously that's not the case. I mean, again, you put somebody through this type of ringer, costing them extra. And again, it wasn't all Sony, but obviously Sony was the useful idiot to a lot of these regulatory bodies, costing Microsoft untold millions to go through this entire process. Like that's crazy, man. Like a lot. I think the bigger question, Matt, and I don't know if you addressed this earlier. I've been listening for the most part, but I don't know if you addressed it or not. I think curious. Today's timing, a Sunday, Matt.
Yeah, I heard people talking about this. Like, does this mean it's closing tomorrow? You know,
first thing I thought of this morning when I saw this news was this is a Sunday. Yes, Sony Corp is a Japanese company, but PlayStation's American. Why do you announce this on a Sunday?
Yeah.
Why do you get this deal done?
If there was any chance at all for this deal not happening, PlayStation would not sign this deal.
No. Right. Like, that's obvious.
So that's what I was saying earlier. Like, there's no more ifs, there's no more ands, there's no more buts. Like, Jason Schreier can keep Canada out of his mouth. It's just stupid takes and all this kind of stuff. There's no more if, ands, or buts. This deal is closing. PlayStation signed the deal. There's no way in hell they would take that offer compared to what they had before if this was not happening. Now, does that mean it's happening tomorrow? I feel like there's a stronger chance because this deal was just signed than previously. Although I was pretty confident in it to begin with, but maybe there's some inclination that the CMA will allow them to go ahead and close at that hearing they're having in the morning. And if that's the case,
which isn't that far away.
No, I mean, we're talking about what, like 5 hours from now?
Like 5 hours or something like that. Yeah.
So we'll have maybe, news in the middle of the night here, potentially letting us know if Microsoft's going to close on Monday.
Correct.
And that's crazy. This week could get even more interesting. But yeah, I think that I think it does increase the chances whatsoever, because if they were still holding out some kind of hope with the CMA and prolonging things or whatever, maybe they would feel like there's more time to at least negotiate.
Mm-hmm.
But instead they took what Phil just like. It's a pity offer because Phil didn't even have to do this. I mean, there's nothing with any of the regulators that said they had to sign a 10-year deal with PlayStation.
No, but this was also for the CMA too, right? Just to I mean, again, it didn't matter because the CMA already threw out the console stuff, but it's just to fall in line with all their testimony too,
Right.
To show
That's what I'm saying. Like he said it on stand. He would have had to do it anyway without offering it, but all he did was offer the piece of paper to what he swore in court that he was going to do.
Correct. Yeah.
So that's all they got. Yep. And they could have potentially tried to negotiate for a little bit more if they spent more time. Who knows how long these negotiations have been going on for as well. It could have been going on for ever since the FTC lost in court the first time. It could have been going on since then. Who knows? But they didn't really get anything beyond the traditional agreement now that was offered to everybody else. So
let's be honest, do they deserve anything more?
No. Fuck them.
No, they don't. Again, this is business, man. We saw the internal stuff from Microsoft and Xbox. We saw the internal emails. We know how they feel, right? Even if they're not planning on killing off Sony at any point, it's still business. All of them have a killer mindset. If you read those emails, it's totally different than their public persona, right? Which again is great to see and hear. But this is business. They're going out. They have goals that they need to reach, Mav. They have goals internally. They have goals that are tied to obviously how they're compensated internally. Like they have things that they want to get done, and it's much bigger than Sony. And they are out here to do that. Microsoft again didn't become a $2 trillion cap company by playing nice. And just because they've changed their image from the 80s and 90s when they were considered bullies, monopolists, all that kind of stuff, just because they've changed that image and done a much better job at being, just like, I don't even want to say kinder, but let's just say a more pleasant type of company to work for and to work with. And they're trying to be a good guy here. They're trying to be a good guy when it comes to Apple and Google's phone markets. They still have a killer instinct, right? That's what you have to. And they want to dominate the future of digital gaming. There is zero question about that. They want to dominate. It's not that they want to be the sole owners of everything. They know that's not going to be possible with all the regulations across the world, but they do want to be number one. And 10, 15, 20 years from now, they want to be the one that everybody thinks about when they think about digital gaming, one of the first names in their mind, instead of right now when you ask somebody about gaming and they go, oh, PlayStation. They want to be, oh, Xbox or oh, Microsoft. That's who they want to be. So they're going to do what's necessary to go make this happen. And they don't have to help Sony along the way. Sony has to figure it out. Sony is not a baby. Sony is not a company who is not succeeded themselves and dominated multiple markets themselves. They don't need to help Sony in any way, shape, or form as a competitor. And Sony, the way that they've treated them, they don't deserve it. Yeah. So fuck them.
Yeah.
Go do what you got to do. Give them COD, move on, keep everything else exclusive unless you feel it's beneficial to put it on PlayStation. Cut some deals with Nintendo. Go make a shit ton of money off of all this stuff. Go improve your infrastructure. Go after the mobile market, which is next year. The war starts in the mobile market, folks. When they get that mobile app up and running, it's on. You think this is the last time we're going to see them in court? Nope. They're going after Google and Apple, so get ready, buckle up. But this is Microsoft now. This is what they see. They see this gaming market as not only a big play for themselves as a pillar within the corporation, but they see it opening doors in other areas. Yeah, and this is what they're going to do. So yeah,
it's crazy. It's been a crazy week, bro. Absolutely crazy. Thanks for hopping in with me as well. I was excited to see you there.
No, I didn't know if you wanted anybody or not. I was sitting here. I just got done beating Samurai Warrior 3 and was sitting around and I was going to pop up Baldur's Gate 3 and then I was listening to you and I was like, you know what? I'm sitting here on my PC already. Let's just hop in if Matt wants.
It makes it convenient when you're gaming at your setup, right?
Yeah. When I'm just sitting here, yes.
Alvin hit us with a $2 super chat. Says, so 80+ million Game Pass subs on September 2nd, right? PlayStation played with the numbers. Xbox playing with the numbers too a little bit. We'll talk about that here in a minute.
Oh yeah.
Mr. Joanna Dark with $5 says, do you guys think Jim misled Sony stakeholders and will lose his job down the road to getting nothing but COD. I feel like there could be some questions, but I don't know, man. I feel like I don't know if it was just his decision. Like that's what I was trying to say earlier. Like,
Corp had a lot
was
to
it
do with
like him following like the direction that everybody wanted him to follow as well? I don't know. He was behind the emails, obviously, but
Yeah.
got exposed. So I think those make him look foolish at the end of the day. But
Mhm.
I don't know what's going to happen in the long run. But you know,
Jim's
this had to
job
been
is based Jim's job is based upon the bottom line. Sorry, man.
right.
Jim's job is based upon those bottom line numbers, right? As long as he can make Sony money and he can figure this thing out, he'll be fine. If he fails with the games as a service, I think that's his biggest risk as the head of PlayStation is his investment in games as a service. If he does not get 1 to 2 big hits out of those games as a service, then I see him in trouble.
That's a good point
100%.
because
Yeah.
you know the PlayStation fan base didn't like their showcase.
Still don't.
That it was heavy live service games early in development, and where they were, where's our movie games? Where's her third person action adventure story games? You know, where are all of these? Instead, we got all this CG live service game trailers, which I'm sure some of those games are going to be good. Actually, probably more up my alley. I think some of them are a little samey with the kind of theme that they're going for, but overall, like I'm probably more looking forward to those than I would be like a new God of War, to be honest with you, even though I thought it was a horrible showcase. But will they have legs? I don't know.
We know how hard it is,
games
right?
like this in the past and they haven't worked. Like, remember Lawbreakers was a big exclusive PlayStation multiplayer only game. Cliffy B was behind it. It was a big name, all that kind of stuff. It lasted less than a year.
Yep. Again, we've not just PlayStation, we've seen it across the board. How many, like, look at Ubisoft, right? So many people have tried these games as a service. It's not easy to pull off. That's why when you see numbers of Grounded, see numbers of Sea of Thieves, that's impressive no matter how it's done to have that many players in a game because it's not easy to pull those off at all. And Sony's got a big uphill battle because they haven't really tried to build them themselves before, right? So I think that's interesting. Real quick, I got to do a quick appreciation shout out to Charlie Hustle. Anytime somebody's going to quote Conan, Charlie, you're going to get a shout out. Charlie Hustle says, Pong right now, like, quote, crush your enemies, see them driven before you, hear the lamentation of their women. Freaking Conan. Awesome, man. Oh, God. So good. So good.
Right on, bro. Shout out to the 200 people here hanging out. Hit the like button, share this out, sub to the channel, notification bell, all that kind of cool stuff. If you like the content, it greatly helps us. You all rock. And Jim, in the chat, I'm the one that timed you out. It was me. Look, again, I saw it was a little annoying. You're being a little annoying at times. I timed you out. Tone it down. You don't got to break a law to get timed out.
Fake Jim Brian. Yes, Lex. That is Conan the Barbarian. Yes, one of Arnold's greatest. Oh my God, it's so good. Oh, Red Sonja too.
Shout out to Heartgeet hanging out. Dragonheart Yobi here hanging out. What's up? Buzz, how's it going? Jago6, what up?
It just says annoying. It's not illegal.
Ohio State 614. What's up? How's it going? Def Leopard, what's up? How's it going? You guys all rock. Man, it is crazy. But to Mr. Joanna Dark's point with one aspect of this, if it is all about the dollars and cents, they will potentially. They have to. It's not concrete because we don't know what Microsoft's really going to do. We just know what's in this agreement, right? There's more of a chance now that PlayStation will make less money from Activision games than they would have if they had signed the other agreement, right? So, like, if they had signed the previous agreement, there was a chance they could have made more money than now, right? So for that aspect, like, that was a calculated gamble that they made. I feel like it was a dumb decision, but obviously that was probably a company-wide decision. I don't know for sure, but they made the wrong move trying to fight it, especially when Jim, even in his emails, like, we'll be fine, right?
No, we'll be okay, more than okay.
Right. But then screaming out to the regulators, we can never financially recover from this. Like Joe Exotic. Crazy.
Crazy.
Absolutely crazy.
Man, this is what we expected, though. This is why we were so fascinated by this entire thing, is we were going to find out what really goes. Again, we got more than we ever thought we would.
Especially what we kept talking about. We can't wait till like the last final days of this deal and everything that's going to happen, and like what's going to happen with PlayStation, what's the ramifications, what's the record, like all these different things, man. It's all playing out. It's all playing out. Now we see that PlayStation made a huge misstep and failed their gamers with this deal. Now it's lesser than what they would have gotten previously. But yeah, it's interesting. I'm wondering, nobody's really talking about this too much, but it's been on my mind today. I was watching Iron Lords this morning, which they had an amazing show. They had like,
I watched all 6 hours.
They had like 3,000 people watching live, bro.
Of course, yes. Shout out to them.
Insane.
They deserve it. Yep.
Absolutely
best shows in
insane.
business.
It shows like where the this whole community has kind of come, right, as well. Like a lot of these channels, and they've been doing it for a lot longer than we have, obviously, right? And they have a way bigger audience than we have. But like we've seen a lot of these channels like Xbox 2 and Iron Lords podcast, and like a lot of these guys, and they're getting in at thousands of concurrents now. Like not just 1,000, like 2,000, 3,000.
Right.
And it shows the energy behind the Xbox brand, right? And also all the news that's going on, and the it's strong, right? It's there's a audience for Xbox out there that cares a lot about this stuff and is following all the news, and it's pretty crazy to see like these guys get these numbers, man. And I'm super proud of all these shows, and everybody says like, oh, there's too many shows, there's too many this and that. Man, if you want to start content, you want to do something, just look at people like that and just be inspired, right? Because they're just people like you, like me, like you guys in the chat. Go back and watch the first episode of Xbox Ultimate. It's horrible, absolutely just trash. But what I'm saying is you can have fun like doing this if you're passionate about it, and like the community has grown so much, man, even in the 3 years since we've been doing it. But I was watching ILP earlier, and they were talking a little bit about like past Activision games and stuff, and they were talking about some of them had been on like Nintendo 64 and stuff like that. And one thing I was like, nobody's really talking about is the impact that this will have for Nintendo, right? Because Nintendo is part of this, and they're getting Call of Duty in the future. Now, we don't know like what the Switch 2 will be, or the new Nintendo device. Probably a Switch 2. But once that releases now, like there's a chance it could be a different machine. Does this like incentivize them to make something better, knowing that Call of Duty may be something that people are going to be interested in? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's going to be what it's going to be, because they're probably already deep into it, right? If they're planning on next year. But at the same time, the fact is, we've heard through the smoke and everything else, it's going to be around, somewhere around last gen, right? Somewhere in that case. But it's probably going to have, if it's NVIDIA, like everybody's saying it is right now, it's going to have DLSS. All that stuff makes it a very viable platform for a Call of Duty. Is it going to be the same Call of Duty that we see on Xbox Series consoles, or on PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 6 and Xbox, Series XX, whatever they're going to do? No, it's not going to be the same. But does it make a viable? Yes, it does. And how big for Nintendo? Again, the word is on the street that Bowser was extremely excited to get that phone call. Man, think about it. Not only is the Switch going to be able to launch, because again, the one thing the Switch is missing, and they don't need it because their first party is so ridiculous, right? But the one thing the Switch does miss is third-party support. If they make a Switch 2 that is at least capable, right, like last gen, where the developers, third-party developers specifically, since they don't work on that stuff all the time, have an opportunity to at least attempt to get their game on there, right? And have it be something decent that players will absolutely buy, because we know Switch players technically, or a lot of the time, don't support a whole lot of third party.
Right.
So I'm not saying that like all this AA stuff is going to go on there and all that. I'm not saying that, but the bigger third party stuff should be able to sell well on the Switch if it's capable. So if that's the fact, think about from Bowser's position. He's already probably got a couple first-party titles lined up to launch with the Switch 2. Nintendo always does that. They're absolutely fantastic at their launches. They know exactly what their fans want. But let's say at the same time, he can go and they can confidently say, and yes, later this year, the new Call of Duty will also become available for Switch. Like, that's a huge W for Nintendo. That is something that was never expected, but will be absolutely 1000% appreciated and welcomed. Because again, there is no doubt about it. Call of Duty is one of those titles that single-handedly can put up numbers after numbers after numbers, no matter where it's at. And the Switch is no different now. If again they make a machine that can actually do something with it. So I think this is Nintendo is going to be off to a strong start with their Switch 2. And if Xbox can prove that they can get Call of Duty on the Switch 2 as well, then more third-party developers will start looking at it and saying, hey, if they can get Call of Duty on there, we can get our game on there. Let's go.
Also more money for Xbox to make off of another device. Right?
Correct.
For a title like that.
Yes. They're going to get their 30%, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. And we know that they wanted to try and get like Game Pass on other platforms and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, I think anytime let's say Call of Duty goes to the Switch 2 and becomes a popular title there and, makes Nintendo a lot of money, that helps conversations between Nintendo and Microsoft in the future as well, because that deal wasn't on the table before this Activision Blizzard acquisition.
And we know that relationship's strong, right, Mav? That relationship is something that Phil has gone out of his way. And even sometimes to some people in this community, it seems like it's one-sided, that they have given more to Nintendo than Nintendo has given back to Xbox. But it could pay huge dividends. And it already did with this whole FTC case, because Bowser and Nintendo stayed out of it. And they didn't have a bad thing to say about this acquisition, right? They didn't do anything, and that's because they know they have a good relationship. And like I said, Phil, one of his first phone calls was to Bowser. So again, if you can continue to build that relationship with Nintendo, the potential down the road for working with each other on something, maybe one day a limited Game Pass type subscription service going to Nintendo, becomes more and more real. And, again, there's other titles, other IP that Nintendo has that isn't necessarily like considered Nintendo only, like Bayonetta, for instance. It's just so happens that Nintendo paid for the production. Marvel Ultimate Alliance, the third one was Nintendo only exclusive. Maybe some of that IP, Bowser goes, you know what? Hey, you guys want to work with this? We'll let you in. So I think that there is potential, and I'm just randomly looking and scrying through the crystal ball just to try to see, but I think there's a lot of potential for that relationship between Nintendo and Xbox to continue to blossom, and this is going to be a big step, man. It really is for both. So
it's crazy. I just can't wait to see what all is gonna the fallout and the news that comes after closing, right? I feel like there was some to piggyback on the like, is this happening tomorrow thing? Like Sarah Bond made a tweet earlier as well that was like never ever quit or something like that, and it was like a picture of like the ocean. It looked like from a plane, maybe, or
from a plane. If she was there negotiating, right?
And
she was leaving. It almost looked like she was leaving because it was nighttime there, and she posted it earlier today. So maybe maybe they got it wrapped up with the CMA. That's why all this stuff went down today, is because negotiations were good. I think it's a valid. Let's put it this way, Mav. You're making posts as if you're closing next week. You're not making posts and deals as if you're closing in August. You're already kind of wrapping things up. And I did see Sarah Buns, and I thought that was interesting as well. I'm still leaning that this closes this week. I know there's arguments against it, and I know they're all valid. There's arguments why it will close or how it can close. And I think the CMA is done. They know they're done. And they can save face by making this easy, right? They can save face. They can wave around that they got Microsoft to divest themselves of the cloud or whatever is going to be the final outcome of all this talk with the CMA. But they can save face by backing away slowly, saying, go ahead, close the deal. We'll finish negotiating later. that would save them a lot of face from what they did before. So I think that I still think it's going to close this week. I still do.
Yeah. And like shout out to Jez Corden from Windows Central as
Yeah.
well. He's been making some interesting tweets today
Posts.
too.
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah.
like I feel like this is potentially like just all the energy that's out there right now. Like I think there's a good chance tomorrow morning we get that news. Or tomorrow midday or sometime.
Midday.
Like, I don't know. When would they have to announce it? Like now Tuesday is the deadline, right?
Tuesday's the deadline, correct?
So I think it's at like 12 or 11:59 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesday, right?
Correct, and they don't have to worry about the stock market because it's delist. It's going to be delisted when stocks go live tomorrow. So Activision Blizzard won't be available for trading, so they don't have to worry about stock. So yeah, I think they have to announce sometime Tuesday before midnight. I don't know for sure if there's an actual time deadline attached to it, but yes, they would have to formally announce and say it's complete by then. And I think they're going to. I just do, Mav. Just do.
Everybody's
CMA.
talking about all the past Call of Duties right now too. It's like
Yeah, it's
they
crazy.
just got them all fixed just in time.
On Xbox only.
Yeah.
PlayStation 3 and PC are still borked to all get out. That was confirmed today as well. Only on Xbox are those back catalog of Call of Duty fixed.
It seems like it could be like a getting it ready to be put in
It's a precursor.
a game pass.
It's a
right?
precursor. Those are going to drop instantaneously. I think we will get the bulk of Call of Duty dropped instantaneously. Yep.
Okay. Alvin says the CMA meetings in the UK will be done by like 7 a.m. Eastern time, our time.
Oh, that early. Okay. Oh, I suppose that makes sense because that would be like 1 o'clock their time.
Yeah.
Or 1 o'clock or
It'd be 12.
12
our
o'clock.
time.
12 o'clock. Yeah.
12.
Yep.
12 our time, 1.
Yep.
Well,
they're 6 hours ahead of us, right? They're 6 hours ahead of us, so they're 5 hours ahead of the East Coast.
mean, sorry.
Right?
That would be 12 o'clock their time. Sorry, 12 p.m. their time.
Yes, their time. Correct. Yes.
Yeah, not our time. Their time.
Something. But yeah, it's going to come. Well, we knew this, man, right? We talked about this. You put it out there. You said, man, this weekend there might be some news. Now, obviously, you probably weren't thinking Sunday, but here we are, right?
Either.
right.
Like I didn't see that one coming at all yet. You know, I mean, maybe later or whatever. But like, it's over when PlayStation signed the deal.
Yep.
Like this, we already
Jim
knew. It was
called
over
up his
before
buddies
that.
in the CMA and said, "Hey, what's going on?" And they're like, "Yeah, Jim, it's done. It's done. Cut your deal."
Yeah, you better take it what you can, Jim. Get what you can, man.
We can't help you after Tuesday, Jim.
Yeah. Somebody made a good point. Like the cat's gonna be watching the CMA here a little bit to see how they act with this, and like that could. I don't know. Maybe that hurts them if they aren't really being easy to deal with. I don't know.
There's a lot of pressure on them from the political side too, with the PMs over there and everybody, Parliament being all over the CMA as well. That's why I'm saying, if I was the CMA and you ultimately know, even if you want to put up the front that you're going to do an extra investigation of the final details, right? Nothing's going to change from any other aspect of your first investigation outside of the cloud piece. So if you ultimately know what Microsoft has placed on the table, has been talking to you about doing to make you feel better about the cloud and to give you your win in all of this, then why would you not, with all the political pressure on you, with all you being alone now on an island, nobody else is with you. Sure, the FTC can still go to federal court, but we know everybody and their mother knows how that's going to turn out if they go to court in August, okay? Everybody. They can now see it. So if the CMA realizes all that, Mav, what benefit do they have to continue to play tough guy and say, no, we're not going to give you permission to close the deal and hold off in the UK side of things until we look at our investigation? What's it going to do? It's not going to do anything but bring more negative press, more negative attention. Like, really, CMA? Really, at this point, that's what you're going to do?
Right.
So that's why I think that they back down and give their blessing to close outside of the UK until their investigation is done or whatever the deal is.
What are your odds if you had to put odds on it, like percentage wise? You know,
I'm probably at 60-40 right now.
I'm the same. I just put that in the chat.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm 60-40 that it closes tomorrow / Tuesday, right?
Correct.
Other than that, like they get an extension with Activision, you know, to prolong while the CMA dilly-dallies, you know, and investigates something stupid. Right?
There was an interesting article today. Did you see the article? Who was it? Dang it, I can't remember. I always like to give credit. I didn't post it in the DMs either, and I don't know why. I was doing stuff, and I was listening to Iron Lords, and I just caught it. There was an interesting article from somebody. Somebody brought up, it was Pactor. I think it was Was it Pactor? I think it was Pactor, who said he's spoken to Activision Blizzard. Somebody, his contacts within Activision Blizzard, high up, obviously, part of the board probably. And Pactor said that they understand that if the deal doesn't close, that with the extension, they can squeeze another $3 billion out of Microsoft.
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
Because obviously that'd be the $3 billion that they would have to pay him anyways if the deal didn't go through. So basically,
it would cost them $3 billion to potentially
holding Microsoft hostage. Yeah, cost them $3 billion to get the extension done.
Yeah,
and again, we can say with how much Microsoft is spending, what's another $3 billion. Of course, if it came down to that, Microsoft would pay the $3 billion. But the fact is if they can get it done, if they can close it with the CMA, be done with this by Tuesday, then $3 billion saved is $3 billion saved. $3 billion is half of what they paid for ZeniMax. $3 billion is about what Sega's worth right now. As stupid as that sounds, that's the type of money we're talking.
Nuts to put that money into perspective like that.
Right.
You can buy a whole another publisher. You can buy like 6 developers or what, you know.
Yes.
With that money, you know, like how much did it? Didn't it come out that like Ninja Theory was like only like 15 million or 125 million or something like that? Right. You know, like
they could fund $200 million first party AAA games.
Yeah,
with that money. So think about that.
Yeah.
So when we say 70 billion, you say, oh, what's another 3 billion? Well, yeah, I think Microsoft tries to get this done for sure.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because
their market cap, Lex, is 3 billion. That's why I said they're worth about 3 billion.
Or they could be favorable and be like, yeah, we'll just extend it. They
could. I'm just saying, Pactor just put out that tweet today, and I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. If they because again, Mav, if you're the board of Activision Blizzard,
and Bobby is a slime ball. Let's just be real.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. As much as he's putting on the front,
like, how much more money will I get to walk away with?
Squeeze? How much more can we squeeze? Yep, absolutely, 100%.
Yep. If I'm Microsoft, I get this thing closed. Yeah, I mean, I don't even want to have to talk to them about that. I'm sure they've already had discussions and they already know what the option is. If they end up doing an extension, like either Activision said no, or they said, yeah, we'll do it, but this is what it's going to cost, or they said, yeah, we'll do it, no problem. Right, one or the other. Remember, Bobby testified in court. If there will be no extension, the board will walk away. Right? So, I mean, if you take him for his word for it, you know, I don't know, but
well, was that a shot across the bow for Microsoft as well? Just being like, hey, yeah, we're gonna play this out.
I mean, he did stand on the stand to say that he doesn't like Game Pass.
Right?
You know, it's like, yeah, I'm not a fan. You know, I don't think it's good for the business. All that kind of stuff, you know, it's like, okay, it's interesting. Well, it's good thing it's not his decision, right? Freebear says Activision will be removed from its NASDAQ 100 stock index before the market opening on Monday, replacing it with a digital and firm the trade desk TTD plus. I don't know what that means exactly. I saw Calorie post earlier, and I did see this earlier from Tom Warren saying that it's not the actual stock that's being removed. It's removing it from the index.
Index, correct.
Which is the listing to track prices or whatever. I don't know how it works. I don't really deal too much in stocks or anything. So, yeah, it's where did everybody go on Twitter? Where did all the anti-Xbox guys go?
There's been some podcasts out there, I'll tell you, that have been interesting. I've listened to a couple podcasts that have been interesting, but on Twitter,
yeah.
yeah.
What kind of things have you heard on those shows? Yeah, I haven't heard any
Oh,
of. I haven't watched
bro.
anything.
Exactly what you would expect. Again, there's some spin out there that Sony actually got over on Xbox and got a better deal at the end of the day because their initial offer was only 3 years or whatever it was. Totally, once again, of course, ignoring the fact that the email that Phil eventually sent Jim included the other Activision Blizzard titles for a period of 3 years, also on top of the 10-year Call of Duty deal. They ignore all of those facts, of course. So that's one spin. The other spin is that this is just absolutely the worst for the industry, that the industry is now headed towards complete consolidation, that there will be 2 to 3 megacorps that own all the IP, and that there basically is no survival for this industry the way that we know it now, and that we're all going to regret cheering for this deal to get done. That we don't know what we're talking about, that there is no positives out of this. The consumer will be screwed over as more and more consolidation happens. That's obviously been a main one that everybody's running with. I heard today MBG did a 5-hour, and I listened to some of it, saw some clips of it as well. His thinking is that this is now, once again, on the consolidation side, that this is now okayed the entire industry to consolidate. So nobody to blame but Microsoft, Xbox, and all the Xbox fans who cheered it on. There's nobody to blame but them when Sony starts going out and buying publishers. That's it. So, hey, you get to live with this. He believes that they're going to have to cut more deals, and nobody on Xbox's side can be mad about it because this is what you all wanted. You guys could have asked Microsoft and Xbox to start cutting third-party publishing deals for a portion of that $70 billion, and you could have competed the way Sony does. But no, you had to cheer this on. So guess what? Now when Sony starts doing it, don't be mad. Don't be mad. And then he also stopped and caught himself because he was talking about what they would have to do to make this all work. And he said, But no, now that I think about it, there's one way out for Sony where they don't have to go consolidate and buy up publishers like Xbox. If they get 1 or 2 of their games as service games to hit like a Fortnite, they'll be okay. Okay. All right. He's like, I don't think it's going to happen because it's really hard to do. But if they pull off the games as a service, Mav, they'll have plenty of money and they can continue to do business the way that they're going to do. And then he actually said something that we've talked about, Mav, something that PlayStation guys don't want to acknowledge, that they will become more like Nintendo, and that's okay. So,
interesting
take that
thoughts.
for what it is.
Yeah, they did buy Bungie to have one of those potential big hit live service games, right?
Mm-hmm.
They got Marathon coming. That will help if it hits for sure.
Sure.
I think Sony goes out and gets a publisher, and guess what? I think it's okay. It depends on who it is. Like, it's not going to be like a Take-Two, like some craziness out there, but you know, like a Square Enix, they could probably swing that, and they could swing a Ubisoft. They could approach somebody else, and nobody will be from the PlayStation side of be like, oh, but consolidation. Well, they will blame Microsoft, but they will be like, oh, see, Microsoft, this is what you did, but we're celebrating because we get these games in PlayStation. There'll be a celebration over there, you know, and they'll be like, oh, Microsoft, you suck, but we're great now because we got this, you know. That's kind of the energy they'll be putting out. But like, guess what? There's so many fucking publishers. And talk about IP, there's new IPs. There's so much damn new IP all the time. This is not like there's 20 things out there that matter and only like certain companies are going to buy up those 20 things and divide them between each other. There's new stuff. You never know what the big thing is going to be. And every company is trying things. Yeah, PlayStation, they could have just made live service stuff on their existing IP, but no, they're also creating new IP as well. Microsoft's creating new IP. Other companies are. Starfield is a new IP, right? You would talk about everybody. These big companies are going to own all the IP. So many damn new IP all the time, and from outside the big companies as well. And A lot of times that's where some of the biggest hits come from. These games that surprise everybody, and all of a sudden you got a powerhouse player in the business, you know?
Yep.
And that's because gaming, if you have the know-how, you can go make a game. And you can form a company to go make a game. You don't have to be owned by Microsoft, Activision, Take-Two. Yeah, is it hard? Is it hard to? Yeah, there's a lot more people probably that strike out than succeed. That's much like any other business, right? Like, it's a dynamic.
But this industry too, Mav, is unlike any other industry. And when people like to do these comparisons about consolidation in other industries, they avoid the fact of how different the video game industry actually is.
Yeah.
It's not the same. Sure, it's entertainment, but it's not the same as movies and TVs. It's not the same as the oil industry. It's not the same as the cell phone industry. And there are varying reasons for that nobody ever wants to actually acknowledge. And again, when they talk about subscription services, they always avoid the fact that you can still buy your games off of your subscription service. You do not need to Netflix, you cannot buy movies.
Yeah.
That is a
huge difference.
Huge difference that none of them ever bring up, right? And the fact is, like you said, Matt, this industry is one of the most dynamic out there right now anywhere. This industry is unbelievably crazy, unstable, wild. Things come and go faster than you would ever believe. The next biggest thing is around the corner that we never even thought of. It's always been that way and will continue to be that way. And it's still growing. It's not even close to its end, cycle. That's why I say this consolidation right now is not a big deal. Even if there's a lot of players in here, even if the Tencents, Amazons, Apple move in, and they decide to start buying up other big publishers, it's not the end times. And the other big difference here, Mav, is people who want to start in their garage nowadays making a game, they have access to technology
like Unreal
at
Engine
such
5 and all that stuff.
such a reduced cost that it levels the playing field. And again, from an entertainment standpoint, right, in movies, most of the time, all of the main marketing and everything is going to go to your big, huge blockbuster titles.
Yeah.
And indie movies, right? Low budget movies barely get any traction unless they're really good and they come up for awards or a big time actor decides to take a pay cut and just go make this kind of, passion project movie or whatever the case may be. In the video game industry, that's not what happens here. Sure, your AAA home runs, sure, do they get a lot of the media coverage? Do they get talked about a lot? Yes, they do, for very obvious reasons. There's a lot of people, that's what they like to enjoy. But then you have this huge spectrum of AAA or AA. You have this huge spectrum of indies. You have this all these different genres, and you have this wide range of people across the globe, 2 billion, 3 billion people who all like and enjoy different things and are always looking for new things. And that small indie developer having access to the same technology as a big time developer, sure, not the resources, sure, not the manpower, but if they put their time and effort to it, they can compete with the big boys. You get things like Vampire Survivors that comes out of nowhere, $3 game, and takes over the world, takes over the PC community for a while. Then all of a sudden shows up on Xbox, and all of a sudden, most of my friends' list is playing Vampire Survivors and talking about it and posting it everywhere. He was a one dude show for quite a while. And now he's got the opportunity to go bigger next time. Yeah. Right?
And there's so many examples like that.
It's different. Yes.
Among Us, right? I talk about that one. That was a game that kind of existed. It was in the behind the scenes. Nobody really talked about it. All of a sudden, it started catching on, gaining traction, and it became one of the most popular games out there for people. And then there's things like before Minecraft got acquired, that was a huge success story. It made that guy billions of dollars that created that. You have that BattleBit remastered game that came out that's taken off, made by 3 developers over a long period of time, 7 years, right? But it's taking off, right? There's so many different examples. Originally, before PUBG came out, that was a small team. The PUBG FinFG Corporation now, right? They
Yep.
involved with other things, and there's so many different aspects to this. Like with a small team, a passionate small development studio come out, or maybe
Yep.
just one guy, and they create something that becomes a phenomenon. Because guess what? People can find these games, right?
Correct.
Because word of mouth within gaming spreads, and you don't have like the restrictions of having to be in the movie theaters, right?
No.
Or whatever,
No.
or have TV commercials and advertisements for people to discover. You can go log in on Steam and search games, and you might find something, and all of a sudden some streamer plays it or whatever, and it's like, and then this game's amazing, and that happens time and time again, and these games become even more discovered and talked about, and then all of a sudden now all these other people are making their own games and stuff. Like, it's so dynamic, and it's easier to crack into than some other industries. I'm not gonna say it's easy, because I've heard like, oh, it's so hard for these small developers now, and I hear that stuff, right? But like, there's a lot of success stories that make it to where it's a viable option for people to try, and like, if they want to, and you never know, you might have
a lot more success, Mav, in this industry than other industries, is what I was pointing out. Again, you couldn't see, I couldn't ever imagine like a small time little oil company breaking into the oil industry and you just disrupting the complete oil industry, right? And people are going to say, well, that's because it's completely consolidated. It's a monopoly now amongst megacorps. But that, again, a small time oil company doesn't have the resources available necessary to do anywhere near what the big oil companies do, because it's so expensive. Here in this industry, sure, like cloud stuff, what Azure is doing, what AWS is doing, that's still expensive. That takes megacorps to do that kind of stuff and to innovate and to break through because of how expensive technology is. But to simply make a game, it's not. The playing field has been completely leveled for the small time person, and they can self-publish in this industry. And they have access to all these tools now, like ID at Xbox, like Steam, like all these different places they can go to get help with that too. But that's not the same as other industries, right? That's never been that way in other industries. That's what makes it different here, and that's what people completely ignore. And then it only takes some success, and then they can turn that into more success, and they can turn that into more success. And the next thing you know, you've got yourself a studio, and now you're making bigger games. And sure, you might get acquired if that's what you want, or you stay independent, because again, in this industry, you're allowed to do that, and you can still flourish. You can still do whatever you want to do.
Yeah,
that's the difference here.
And I feel like sometimes people are missing the benefits of the companies being owned by another company, and like what that brings to gamers, and what the kind of competition and pressure that puts on the other big competition to compete now. And this is going to put some more pressure on PlayStation, I hope, to offer more, maybe mainly in their subscription services and stuff like that, to the consumers and stuff. But that's a good transitional period here, because we got some other breaking news, like around like 8 o'clock our time, Pong. About this. This seems pretty much like it's not confirmed by Microsoft, but this seems like it's a real thing. Like Wario64 posted it, Grub quote tweeted it, and all this kind of stuff. That's good enough for me to say this is more than likely accurate. But Xbox Live Gold is supposedly phasing out as of September 1st. There will be a new service replacing Xbox Live Gold called Game Pass Core. A Game Pass Core is $9.99 a month, which is the monthly price of Xbox Live Gold if you've been paying monthly. Unclear right now if there's still going to be a bundled 12-month option. This is not listed here. Well, actually, never mind. It is listed here.
Yes,
so, okay, same thing. Well, never mind. That took one of my concerns away. I see it. Okay. So Xbox Live Gold will apparently, I'm reading Wario64's tweet. Xbox Live Gold will apparently transition to Xbox Game Pass Core on September 1st. Includes online multiplayer and various benefits. Online multiplayer is the core reason to have Xbox Live Gold if you weren't a Game Pass Ultimate subscriber before. Same price as Xbox Live Gold. Existing Xbox Live Gold subscribers will convert to Core. Includes 25 Game Pass titles off the bat, and I'll add to that in a little bit. There's actually more there. Games with Gold offers will end. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what this offers here. Reading this this post, and he had also this came from originally from Windows Central, I think, which from Jez, because I saw it originally from Wario, but I'm noticing there's a link to Windows Central article here as well. So just talking about what Wario posted, but it says after 21 years of creation, the term Xbox Live will be eliminated. A little bit sad. Xbox Live, you know, I remember when that was coming out.
Changed everything.
Like, oh my God, it was such a big deal.
Changed the industry.
Yep. Xbox Live Gold changed to Xbox Game Pass Core from September 1st. In order to enjoy online multiplayer and various benefits, you must subscribe to the Core service. The price of Core is the same as existing Live Gold price, $9.99 per month or $59.99 per year.
Right.
So that's what I was concerned about. That's the same. So that's good. All existing Live Gold subscribers will be converted to Core subscribers. More than 25 Game Pass games available in the Core service. They give some of those games here. It says Among Us, Descenders, Dishonored 2, Doom Eternal, Fable Anniversary, Fallout 4, Fallout 76, Forza Horizon 4, Gears 5, Grounded, Halo 5 Guardians, Halo Wars 2, Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice, Human Fall Flat, Inside, Ori and the Will of the Wisp, Psychonauts 2, State of Decay 2, Elder Scrolls Online Tamriel Unlimited. Microsoft says this list will grow in the coming months as well, which means I think they're going to add more games to it without necessarily taking a lot away. And interesting here also with that list, it was mostly first party, but there was a couple of exceptions to that rule. There was Human Fall Flat and what was the other one? There was one more kiddie game. Human Fall Flat and Among Us and Descenders. So those three are not first party. Those are on this list. I think maybe that's favorable offering or whatever from those publishers or whatever developers to put it in the Core service. I'm not sure why those three, but the rest are first party older games, right? More of like a catalog type thing as opposed to day one stuff. Games with Gold will end on September 1st. Free games previously acquired with Live Gold will remain in the user's account. Yep. So discounts on purchases that Game Pass subscribers received also apply to Core subscribers. So you also get the same Game Pass discount benefits. So on paper, all in all, this seems like nothing bad. It's just good as far as if you pay for Xbox Live Gold currently, you're getting more for your money.
Guess what? You're Core now. You're a Core Game Pass user.
Yeah. You're now a number that they can use for Game Pass. You're getting, I think, better offering with the Game Pass stuff that they're offering you as opposed to the crappy Xbox Live Gold games they've been giving out for a couple of years now. But the one thing that's a little bit of an L for me, and I'll just be honest, is that I still wanted multiplayer to be free for everybody. And this cements that that's probably not going to happen, at least for a long time. So that is the L here. Now, Switch, Nintendo does it, PlayStation does it, Xbox does it. I was hoping they'd buck the trend to be the first one to say multiplayer for everybody, and because PC gamers don't have to pay for online, you know. But it is what it is, I guess. But besides that fact, if you're an Xbox Live Gold only subscriber, which if you are, I don't know exactly why you haven't been subscribed to Game Pass and subscribing to Xbox Live Gold. Especially if you're a Game Pass and Xbox Live Gold subscriber, you've been wasting money, right? But if you are subscribed to Xbox Live Gold, you're getting, I think, more for your money than you are currently on September 1st. And then the other side of this, Pong, is that all of a sudden, Game Pass numbers will jump from 30 million roughly, or who knows what the number is right now, 30 plus probably, to 90 million maybe.
I mean, it will if they convert everybody over, right? So
I mean,
That's
That's what
how many people
PlayStation
stay?
did to inflate their
Right.
numbers.
Right.
The difference
Right.
here is you're actually getting some games in a subscription service as opposed to PlayStation Plus Essentials.
Correct.
That's the biggest difference here. That this is actually still a gaming subscription for games that are going to increase, whereas the PS Plus Essentials doesn't have that.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be part of Extra to get any of those. And I think they even phased out the PlayStation Plus collection as well.
Yes, they did. They got rid of that. Yep, they did.
That's the biggest difference here. The PlayStation Plus Essentials is still the same thing as PlayStation Plus was previously before Extra and Premium existed. But this is changing to an actual like small level Game Pass service.
Right.
What are you feeling, Pong? How do you like it?
Well, everybody here knows my feelings align with yours. We've talked about it multiple times through the years about live and about charging for online for consoles versus PC where it's free. It's stupid. They should have gotten rid of it long ago. If we're all going to be honest, even if they got rid of the online portion of it and just didn't even include it in there, they're not going to reduce the price. Okay, the prices are going to be what they are. I will also say this now, Mav. If this becomes official and this is something they're going to do going forward, now we know why we had the $2 increase, right? Because they had to make room for this core service, right? Now we know why they did that bump. Was for it to all make sense. This is just simply we were out live when they tried to increase the price of gold, and the uproar from the community made them reverse it within a matter of hours, right?
Yeah.
We were there. We all knew the reason why they were trying to do the price increase on gold was to force people into Game Pass.
Yeah.
We knew that, right?
Now they have just forced people into Game Pass, right?
now they have
without
right?
changing the price, right?
Right. They're artificially inflating their Game Pass numbers, right? That's what they're doing. This is business. Again, whatever you want to think about how stupid it is, it doesn't matter.
I will say, like, the offering they are, especially if it grows beyond
they
25,
are giving you bonuses.
Right.
Yes.
It is still, I feel like, more of an actual Game Pass than like a PlayStation Plus Essentials is like a PlayStation gaming subscription.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
So even though it is inflating like the numbers by transitioning everybody over,
it is. They are offering something in return.
It's like, for me, it's almost like a, okay, if you're like a parent and you don't want to pay for like Ultimate and which for $6.99 more, everything you get, it was just crazy, right? But like, okay, you already had to get for multiplayer anyway. And based on the games that they're putting in there, like Among Us and, Human Fall Flat and stuff like that, it's like, okay, a parent buys an Xbox and okay, they just subscribe to the cheaper service because they were going to have to get gold anyway, and it's for the people that aren't necessarily the hardcore gamers, I guess. Maybe, I don't know.
Wait, I gotta look at that. Man, you got it right there, right? You got it. You got the box. Tell me this: does the so we've got core, and what are they calling the next level of Game Pass before Ultimate?
Console.
There's
console, PC, and Ultimate.
Okay, and console still includes live, right? Or online multiplayer? Or does it?
No. Well, it would have to, because core does.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, because core does, right? Right.
Which
so now,
previously it didn't.
Right. So actually what you're talking about here, because then the only benefit to Ultimate is you're getting PC and cloud access, right? PC Game Pass and cloud access, right? That's the only difference now.
For Ultimate?
Yeah.
EA Play.
Oh, EA Play as well. Okay. So console
and cloud. And you get
that's why I said cloud, PC Gaming Pass, and EA Play. EA Play is still not available for the console version of the console level, right?
Yeah. So this list says I'll read the check marks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Because it's a little unclear because right now, like Game Pass doesn't include online multiplayer. Yeah. But I don't think they'd make you sign up for core and console Game Pass separately.
Right. That's what I was trying to figure out here. Right.
Yeah, so
what else they did?
they have Core for $9.99. Says online
Yep.
console multiplayer.
Yep.
Catalog of over 25 high quality games on console. Member deals and discounts. Okay, so that's Core. Console says $10.99.
Okay.
Hundreds of high quality games on console. New games on day one. Member deals and discounts.
So no, it doesn't have online console multiplayer then.
Which is checked off in Ultimate.
Correct.
So on Ultimate, it says hundreds of high quality games on console, PC, and cloud.
Okay.
New games on day one, member deals, discounts, and perks, online console multiplayer, and EA Play membership.
So really, what they've done here, then, Matt?
Yeah, I guess console does still not include the online
multiplayer. So legitimately, if you're going to online multiplayer, you're going to have to decide between Core for 10 or going full boat at 17.
There's no reason for the console one to even exist.
Well,
because I mean,
if you're somebody who's never going to play online and you just wanted access to the Game Pass games,
okay, you're a single player gamer, right?
Yeah, single player. Yeah, yep, exactly. You're just a single player gamer and you have no reason to go online. You just don't do it. Then yeah. So, but they really are, because I thought they maybe had added. What Wario said is, wait, so Core has multiplayer, Yobi. Yes, Core has. What I was trying to figure out is if they added to console the online multiplayer for $1 more.
I would have assumed yes, but I guess not. No.
Because what I initially thought, Mav, was like, okay, they're going to offer Core. They're going to switch all the Gold members over to Core. Everybody on Core is going to move over, or everybody from Gold is going to move to Core that doesn't have Game Pass. So they're going to get into Game Pass. They're going to get a little taste of Game Pass. They're going to look up the next level, and there's console waiting for them. Oh, I get all the same benefits, but for $1 more a month, I get access to the hundreds of games, right? So, okay, cool. I'm just going to bump myself to the console. Microsoft gets the extra $1. And they just, that was the move that I thought Xbox was going here for, but they're not. So they're just going to bump everything from Gold to Core. They're going to try to give them a little taste. And then people are going to be like, okay, well, I want the full Game Pass experience. And I play multiplayer. So, my next option is I got to go to Ultimate.
Right. If you're a console player.
Yeah.
Right, because
that's what I was saying, Buzz. It would
pay $10.99 instead of $16.99, right?
I thought the ultimate goal here, Buzz, was basically to make it such a no-brainer for people coming from Gold to now enter into the Game Pass ecosystem that most people would just pay the extra $1. Like a high majority of people would pay the extra $1, get into the console level, and basically the Core would just be eventually non-existent. And they would just get rid of the Core and just say, hey, everybody got to choose, right? But they're not doing that. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. So the regular game. Yes. Okay. Right. Let's go through this again because people are now confused because we confused. Okay. So base level. I've got it up here in front of me here too, as well, man.
Yeah, I'll bring it up on the screen here.
Yeah. Bring it up on the screen so people can see too, if you can. If you need to cover me up, just cover me up. So the Core level, which is what everybody in Gold is getting moved to, is $9.99 a month. It's the same price as Gold. It includes online multiplayer access, catalog of 25 high-quality games on console, which Mav listed off, and you get the member deals and discounts for being a part of Game Pass. All right? The next level up is console, which is $10.99 a month. That gives you the full access to the Game Pass games, right? The full library of Game Pass games. New games on day one, right? So you get your day and date games as well. Members, deals, and discounts, but does not include the online multiplayer. And then you've got PC for $9.99. And again, PC gets free multiplayer. So, okay, whatever. And then Ultimate, which gives you all of it, right? You get access to PC Game Pass, you get access to cloud, you get access to games day and date, you got the full library of Game Pass, you also get multiplayer included in that, EA Play membership, member deals and discounts and perks as well. Yeah. I don't know.
It would, if you like if you were a core user, if an Xbox Live Gold user that's converted to core, right?
Yep.
Your same $60 you paid per year or $10 per month would now be with core, which gives you the same benefits now, except for games with gold. You're getting a smaller Game Pass catalog.
Correct.
And then if you want Game Pass games day one in the full catalog, you would then have to make a decision of paying $10.99 extra per month,
which makes it $20 a month,
which makes it
$20.99
a month.
Yeah.
$20.98 a month, roughly.
Yep.
Yeah, whatever. And or getting Ultimate for $16.99, which also gives you the cloud. It gives you PC Game Pass, and it also gives you the EA Play.
Right.
So they're trying to, I think, give the Xbox Live Gold users that aren't Game Pass subscribers a taste of Game Pass. Right? They're trying to give them a taste to see if they want more Game Pass, right? Besides that, they will be able to call these users Game Pass users and have something else they can pitch to developers and publishers like the developers of Descenders or Among Us for a larger user base, right?
Correct.
Maybe a better deal potentially or whatever for the offerings for those. I don't know. But it's in a whole nother tier, and it's really interesting.
They're trying again. This is still, in my eyes, a bully tactic, and it's a business tactic, and they are trying to force.
And Calor's making a good point too, because if you do the $60 times 12 month, you're at $5 plus $9.99, so that makes it actually $15.
If they give that discount, right?
Right.
But that's the other thing. They're going to, obviously, if they get rid of Xbox Live, eventually all those cards are going to be gone, right? All the codes will be gone. The offer to buy Xbox Live for a yearly price of $60 will be gone. And like you said, Mav, in DMs, I don't think they're going to offer core for $60 a month, or for $60 for the year, I should say.
Well, they are. That's what this says.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was saying, and I was like, but I was mistaken because I didn't see this. It says the price of core is the same as the existing Live Gold price.
Yep.
$9.99 per month or $59.99 per
if
year.
they continue to do that, then that just means you got to pay up front for the year. You got to commit to the year. But if they're still going to offer that discount on core, then all right, then that softens this a little bit for me as far as what they're doing. And like you said, man, they are adding the benefit. No, you don't get the free gold games, but honestly, most people out here outside of me and a couple people who kind of still like the gold games and every once in a while found a nugget in there, that's gone. And they're just replacing it with this partial, small, little sample size of Game Pass games. So again, that's cool. That's cool.
I feel like ultimately, like, it's just improving on Xbox Live Gold now to be this mini Game Pass.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
And like you said, beef up the numbers. I mean, this is going to inflate the Game Pass numbers. It's different though because they don't have access to the full library. So even when they're selling those numbers to developers, can you use it when you're not? Their game probably won't be available to many of the people who are in core, right? Because it's not going to be their day and date. It's probably not going to be included in that small list, depending on how big they expand that small list. Chances are it's not going to be in there. So it's just a way to get people into the ecosystem, give them a taste of Game Pass, and then hopefully convert them to a bigger one, right? That's exactly what they're trying to do here.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. I just wish they gave
online
free online, but again, they wouldn't drop the price. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Who was it? Was it Luis Jose? I think it was Luis Jose. Yeah, Luis Jose asked, so Pong, you speculated a mobile Game Pass. How would this add or affect the Game Pass options? I don't think it would. I think mobile Game Pass, I've always said all along, $5 a month. Once they have their store up and running and we can see how many games they have available, I think $5 a month would fit nicely for the mobile Game Pass users that want to get into that. I could see them potentially adding it to Ultimate with a slight increase. I don't know for sure how they would maybe work that. That's pretty far down the road once they get the app store up and running and we find out how many games are actually going to be available in there. But I don't think this affects it either way because mobile, it's free online. As you can see, PC is $9.99 a month, obviously for the Game Pass over there without online because online's free. So mobile is the same thing. So yeah, I don't think it affects it either way. But we're a long ways out from that. But I do eventually see that happening for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. Interesting moves. I don't really have an issue with it at all, except for I wish that the multiplayer price was dropped.
Yeah.
The multiplayer was dropped, but it is what it is. That's just
This is what it looks like. Yeah, this is what it looks like now. Oh, thanks, Jasper.
Yeah,
Okay.
Jasper posted, what the current offering is.
Yep.
So, all right. Let's see. I got a couple super chats to get to. Appreciate everybody here watching. You guys rocked for the show, and still gonna stay here for a little bit and talk a little bit more. I got let's see. Lakeith, is it Lakeith for $5 says Thant would make sense due the kid issue. They just had parents don't have to worry about their kids on multiplayer. Thant? THANT. I'm trying to see. Thant
that would make that.
Oh,
that would
okay,
make
yeah. Sorry, I'm an idiot. Yeah, that would make sense due to the kid issue. They just had parents don't have to worry about their kids on multiplayer. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I read that wrong. But the
yeah. If you want to keep your kid offline and you just want to give them access to the Game Pass, you could just do the console. Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. Sure. Or they could just have a family option allowing like right when you create the console, don't allow online.
Yep.
Or when you sign in originally.
And Yobi, I don't think this had anything to do with Major Nelson leaving. I know he was like the Xbox Live guy and all that kind of stuff originally. And again, shout out to Major Nelson for 20 years, decades of work with Xbox. But I don't think this had anything to do with it. I think it was just Major moving on. Yeah. Next stage of his life. He's getting up there. I don't know how old he is, but he's put in his time at Xbox, and maybe he just wants to be free a little bit and go do his own thing. He said he was going to be rebranding his channel. So it sounds like he's going to stay in the industry. Maybe he'll just do what Jaffe does and just get out there and talk. Can you imagine if all of a sudden we find out Major Nelson has got he's a total freaking pirate like Jaffe, and it's just Effenheimer this, Effenheimer that, nonstop on his own channel? That'd be freaking incredible. That'd be so much fun. Major just came out here and was like, fuck this. Yeah. That'd be so much fun. But maybe that's just what he wants to do. Maybe he just wants to be free to cover what he wants to cover and lend out his services to different ways. Who knows? Maybe he'll partner up with some other publishers, like Devolver or somebody like that. I'm just throwing out names, to kind of freelance. So, because he's got a name, everybody knows who he is, and he knows what he's doing.
Let's see how start a PlayStation fanboy toxic Xbox podcast.
Would it be crazy? That's what I'm saying. All of a sudden he's on with Dirt and like Sean and those guys, and he's just out here just talking trash.
Like anti-Xbox.
He goes to PlayStation.
Yeah, he just goes pure PlayStation, right?
Oh my god, that'd be crazy, bro. Too.
Yo, this is Larry. Fuck Xbox. Fuck Xbox. I don't like it anymore. Those assholes. I had to leave because I just couldn't stand the direction.
That'd be crazy. He just starts giving the dirt out on Phil and everybody inside.
Phil's actually an asshole. You guys just don't know.
Def said that he's 65. So yeah, 65. He's worked for Microsoft for a long ass time. Probably got great retirement coming. Shit. Time to take a vacation, Major, and do what you want to do.
Luis Jose said, so what is going to happen with the official Xbox podcast? He said it's going to be on hiatus while
I think
somebody else ends up taking over. Yeah. The question, who's good nominee to take over Major Nelson's spot?
Paris has done a lot of work with Xbox. So Paris has been there for a while and done some work with them. I don't know. Colt? Can you imagine if Colt was the next Major Nelson?
Wow.
Colt putting on the white gloves, doing unboxings. Would that be freaking hilarious?
Yeah. I don't know who it could be, man. I feel like...
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure they got a lot of internal people.
There's a chat saying Dirt. Yeah, they're going to make sure they get somebody that is like I like all consoles. I like all gamers. You know, they're gonna try and go
Yeah.
like, you know, the politically correct like approach with like all
Somebody,
that kind of
yeah.
stuff.
Somebody younger though, to keep it professional. Obviously, Xbox is, you know, that's their MO. They're going to have people who are professional for sure. But
Yeah.
you know, somebody younger, somebody who gets the audience. You know, not that Major Nelson didn't, but let's be real. He's 65 years old. He's still obviously a gamer and he understands the gaming industry. But there's a different vibe out there now, and Xbox wants to become more hip, right? We see that. We see them promoting a lot of younger people on their channels as well. So I think that's kind of the road they'll go, I think, for sure. So
the chat, anybody saying me in the chat, never going to happen because they would do their research and watch old podcasts and just hear me drop F-bombs here left and right at times. It would keep that from happening for sure. Gaz, they would never. Shout out to Gaz, but...
Gaz put himself up for that the other day. I heard him say it, like how great that would be, and he would do an awesome job. I'm like, Gaz, man,
Gaz would be entertaining as hell, but
that's not.
Could you imagine Xbox hires like somebody that's put stuff out there that's like really like kind of anti this or that or whatever?
That's what I'm saying. His anti-Halo rants. Can you imagine? Right. He was blocked. 343 blocked.
People digging that up, be like, Xbox hires toxic creator or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not. I mean, Gaz would. I think would be great.
Rand would be great, but Rand doesn't want to be on camera. Yeah. So that's a big, huge problem. I mean, Rand would have to be ready to be in the public spotlight at all times.
Yeah, you can't have any controversial figure whatsoever. Yeah. Like, and so it's like if you say things that are kind of like some people may not like or whatever, you're probably not going to get that. You know, so it's going to be somebody that's really like by the book. You know, I could see like a Danny Pena.
Yeah, Danny Pena.
Danny Pena could do it. Yep, Paris Lily could do it. I think you could see maybe like a Destin Legary potentially, Ryan McCaffrey.
Oh, you know, please!
I know. I'm just saying, like these are the kind of people I think.
Potentially
offered a position.
Somebody who's had experience, for sure. For
you
sure, 100%.
Or one of the people that are already currently there that do some of the hosting things that they would just kind of put them in that spot.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, I'm sure there's lots of people that could take over that role. I mean, again, it's just it's time. Let's just put it that way. It's time. Xbox is going to a new generation, but can you imagine if it was like Darth Phil was born through this whole process and he's like, screw this. We're leaning in to the console wars, and he does go grab somebody like Gaz and throws him.
That would be amazing, right?
We're going after Sony,
and it shows up on your Xbox when you boot it up, and Gaz is like, "Fuck PlayStation! Fuck you all! It's fucking sauce time!
This is a new era. This is a new era." He's doing his voice changer, singing. Oh my god.
I mean, that would be crazy, right?
It would be. It would be. His first guess is Phil, and then Phil's just totally on there, like, yeah, I'm done with this shit. Everybody knows who I am behind the scenes. It's all out there now. That's it. We're going to kill. We're killing PlayStation. That's it. Jim, I'm coming for you. And him and Gaz are just going back and forth. Oh my god, that'd be insane.
Yeah. Dirt would be great too, because it'd be like, fuck them ponies.
Yep. Yeah, Dirt. Yeah, have everybody on. Oh my god, it'd just be classic, man. Oh my god.
You'd be like, if you like PlayStation, turn off your controller right now. You're not allowed to be here on this console.
Oh shit,
it'd be fun as hell. I mean, like,
can you imagine what the media would say? Oh, if it was just a total turn, a heel turn for Xbox. Right. And they just leaned into it. Oh my god, the media would have a field day. Oh my god.
We got ABK now. What you gonna do about it, bitches? Yeah. Everything exclusive. We're gonna take it back. Even Call of Duty. Fuck them.
Fuck them.
Yeah.
Fuck them all.
Fuck them. We'll pay the fines. I don't care.
Oh shit. Oh, Jez just said FML. I wonder what Jez has got going on.
Yeah, that's all that a little bit ago.
Yeah.
I'm saying like he's prepping for that chip.
Probably well, and he's probably just prepping for the news week too, because obviously now that
Yeah.
he's chief over there, so he's got to line everything up and make sure everything's going out. So it might be a hellish week for him as well, making sure everything gets out there.
Craziness.
It's gonna be fun, man. Again, Sunday. Never expected all this.
Yeah.
Yeah, Miles or Snowbike Mike maybe. Yeah,
Miles
Snowbike
would
Mike.
work. Snowbike Mike would
Snowbike
work.
Mike could fit in there. Yep,
Um,
absolutely. Yep.
Tim Geddes would work as well, I think.
Yep.
Anybody over there. I mean, but yeah, I don't know, man. There's probably some other like Luke Lore.
Yeah, Luke's. Luke. Shout out to Luke. Just mad
Yeah.
respect for him and what he does all by himself on his channel. Like again, it ain't easy running a channel by yourself, and the guests that he gets on there and the professionalism and the way he handles and conducts himself is absolutely incredible. Yeah, Luke Lore would be definitely a rising name, right? If they're going to go with an unknown to come out of the ranks, yeah, Luke. Like I'm treating this like freaking NFL draft or NBA draft.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the dark horses. Like who would Microsoft tap, right?
Yeah, who would? Yeah, I'll throw my hat in the ring for PTK Blam.
Blam would be freaking.
Yeah, he's
great.
professional. He's like super professional. I mean, he takes shots sometimes, but not. He doesn't ever go.
Every once in a while. Every once in a while,
You know,
does, no.
I think his stuff's acceptable from Microsoft's side, though. Like,
Yep.
just the first part of this stream before Pong got on here would completely erase me from the conversation.
Correct.
Me calling Jim Ryan a douchebag loser, like it's not gonna fly with Xbox, right? King David, it's like I don't know. King David would be amazing. It would be so fucking entertaining. But Lord Cognito.
Yeah, for sure.
Like he's super professional, straight laced. Class act. And not everybody on the Iron Lords is a class act, but that I think they're gonna choose like that. Hey, we like gamers that play everywhere. That whole kind of mentality.
Yeah.
Thing.
Absolutely. Ryan Seacrest calorie, really?
God,
really calorie.
And this is Xbox.
Kojima does podcasting now. Yeah, let's bring Kojima
in. Then nothing will make sense.
He can talk. He can talk about himself the whole time, right? What he likes.
I've designed this UI for you to be able to experience it in many different ways and dimensions.
Mr. Matty Plays. That's another good one. God Emperor.
Matty Plays. Yeah.
Yep.
How about Jaffe?
As Jaffe's out here going, Phil, call me. I got plenty of people who could take over for Booty.
Yeah. I mean, Matt Booty's ruthless, bro.
Yeah, now we know. Like I said, Booty's true self came out in his emails. So we know who Booty is now. He's not the quiet, unassuming guy we always see in interviews. That's for damn sure. Behind the scenes, he's a killer. So ain't no doubt about it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it would be a dream job for a lot of us, right? But I think a lot of us in the content creation community have burned that bridge.
Yep.
Pong hasn't. I'll nominate Pong. Pong, you're pretty straight laced. You're pretty class act.
I've criticized enough Xbox stuff though. So through the years.
How about Psycho?
Oh my God! Can you imagine that show?
Fucking great, bro.
He just goes off on a whole another random topic while the guy behind the camera's like, "No, just read the teleprompter."
What are you talking about? I'm sorry. I had a mushroom. It'd be fucking great, bro.
It'd be insane. It would be insane. Oh, thank you all. I appreciate y'all. Yeah. No.
3-bit could do it.
How about Snitch? Snitch putting out that little PXS today, Mav.
PXS?
Got everybody. Yeah, he just the letter P, lowercase x, and then an S.
Oh, yeah.
And
what does that mean?
Everybody thinks he's hinting at something PlayStation, right? So,
obviously it starts with the letter P, so.
Right, but S is Sony, so does that mean PlayStation minus, like, Xing, or PlayStation, what was I going to say? PlayStation exits Sony? Is somebody buying PlayStation? the Division from Sony.
Oh, that would be crazy. So right after the ABK acquisition, like
Right,
Amazon or Apple,
Amazon or
like,
Apple.
buy fucking PlayStation off of Sony. And Sony would never just sell PlayStation because that's like their biggest profit maker.
No, yeah.
I mean, you'd have to buy
It'd
Sony.
be pretty funny though if that's what it is. But obviously everybody's saying PlayStation and Square Enix, right? Because Snitch doesn't always make it obvious. He does, do things that, but he's so quiet nowadays. When he puts something out there, obviously it gets some attention. I don't know. Maybe PlayStation's maybe they've been talking to Square the whole entire time, and that is their full move next out the gate is to make sure they wrap up Square Enix, knowing that Microsoft had their eyes on them. And obviously, I said that if Microsoft is going east, I just want to see the internet burn for Square Enix, but it would make a lot of sense as the number one publisher for mobile in the East, and to make sure that all the Square's games don't skip Xbox. You go wrap that up, even if you agreed that Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest and all those remain on Sony. You wrap it up, and that way you've got your mobile publisher in the East, and you got a move strategically over there. So maybe PlayStation wants to get ahead of it and just said, nope, we're going to finally put a ring on this thing. And is anybody going to question if everything's going to be exclusive or not, Mav, if that happens?
No.
Nope.
I'm trying to PlayStation cross.
Yeah. Some people have guessed it's another showcase, that he's hinting at another PlayStation showcase later this month, because obviously some people did hear that they were going to have another one this month. So maybe that's all it is, but we'll see.
I don't know. It's so cryptic. Did anybody guess in his comments? There's sometimes I on his things I look through and like people guess it.
Yep. Somebody said Sega. Obviously, people have been saying Sega. PlayStation wraps up Sega. I just don't think Sega would want to sell to PlayStation, but who knows? Money might be right.
Some people are saying PlayStation Slim.
Yep, PlayStation Slim. Yep.
PlayStation bought Sony.
PlayStation Experience Showcase. I don't know.
Maybe. I'm looking at the comments.
It's interesting.
Seeing if there's anything there. Nope. Everybody's just where we're at. So no good insight.
Hargeet says Square is a terrible idea for PlayStation. Plus, I don't think they'll be able to acquire anything in Japan with a 98% market share. You might be right, Hargeet. Like I said, that's why I said Xbox would make a move east fairly quickly after ABK closes, because the political climate is right for Xbox to make a move that way if they're going to do it, or a couple moves. Again, I said Sega and Square. If they're going to make that move, the timing's right. And you're right, Hargeet. It might be the opposite for Sony, that now that the spotlight's been put on Japan, at least from the trade talks and stuff with the US, maybe they wouldn't allow Sony to do it. So maybe you're right, Hargeet. It's a good thought.
Yeah. Very good. All right. Well, Pong.
Yep.
I think we've ran the gamut on this thing.
Yeah, we have.
Interesting
Sunday conversation that we didn't know we were going to be having. So that's for damn sure.
Thanks for hopping in impromptu.
Oh, thanks for having me, man.
It was fun. It was like a little extra dose of PM in the PM. Yeah.
I would, like I said, I didn't know if you wanted company or not, because your MavCast do freaking awesome, and people love to hear you just go on your rants by yourself. So I didn't want to intrude at all, but I'm glad you had me.
Anytime.
Man, so.
I'm glad you hopped in, bro. Great discussions, man. But hey, tell everybody out there, let's do a Pong Soul outro.
Yeah. Everybody, what a great time, man. Thank you all. Over 200 people here, a random Sunday night. Absolutely amazing. Like Mav said, the energy in this community has been so off the charts this week. Again, it's just been phenomenal. That's why we do this. Love to see you all out here. Great conversations in there. for just a random old podcast, me and Mav. So thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you for all the support and all the support you give all the channels. Again, Iron Lord's hitting over 3,000. Mav and I having over 400 on Thursday. Again, record numbers, me and Steel over 150 on Saturday, which is absolutely crazy for 5 hours. Like, it's just stupid. Like, it's great. And again, I saw some other people too. I should shout out Dirk Gergety because he's been hitting over 1,000 too on a regular basis. And he should. He should. Dirk's been doing it for a long time. He's fantastic. So shout out to everybody in this community. Really great time to be in here talking about this stuff, enjoying everything that's going on. The news has been nonstop, and this is phenomenal. Next week again, if they close tomorrow morning, we might all wake up to something special. So who knows what we're going to see. But thank you all for being here. All love and respect. Pong Solo everywhere. You know that. You know the drill there. So Tuesdays, go check out Xbox Factor. I know Boom is already excited for Tuesday on Xbox Factor. He's going to have a giant show on Tuesday, especially if news comes out tomorrow. It's going to be massive. So go check out Xbox Factor Podcast, Double Barrel Gaming, Mr. Boomstick, 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock Central Time, Mr. 13K now. Go check that out. Thursday, Mav and I will be right back here to talk whatever's happened or whatever hasn't happened. We're going to be talking about it. PM in the PM every Thursday night right here, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Central Time. It's going to be a great show this week, as always, with me and Mav. And then, of course, Friday nights, Xbox Ultimate, right back here, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time with the fam. Different perspectives on Friday night. A lot of laughter on Friday night. Never know what's going to happen, so be there Friday nights for that. And then Saturday mornings, living split screen. Listen, we are now over 950, so if there's anybody in there who hasn't checked out myself, my brother from another Steel Rain, Saturday morning, living split screen, all one word. Please go check it out. If you like what you hear, please subscribe. We are on mission 1K, and we are getting very, very close. We go 3+ hours every Saturday morning. We went 5 hours almost this past weekend. So go check that out, please. 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time. 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time every Saturday. Living split screen. And then Saturday nights is Shop Podcast over on PTK Blam's channel. That's right, Blam, Fuzzy, myself. We usually have a guest or two, or in this case of last night, 3, because we had Jasper, we had Mav, and of course we had 3-Bit. We had the Fun Speculation takeover on the Shop Podcast. But Saturday nights is the best place to end your Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock Central Time, the Shop Podcast. Listen, folks, golden age of gaming is here, folks. It really is. Golden age is here. Get out there, play what you love what you play. Have a great start to your week. Who could get juicy early tomorrow? We're gonna find out. Love you all. Have a great one.
Man, I got stuff to do tomorrow morning. I wish I didn't, because who knows what can happen. But tomorrow night we also have FSP, Fun Speculation Podcast, at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, guys. So check that out, because I think there's bound to be some kind of news tomorrow, regardless. With all this. So looking forward to it. And then, like Pong said, PM in the PM on Thursday, and Xbox Ultimate on Friday. And this is going to be a crazy week. This last week was absolutely bonkers, with FTC failing, Xbox winning, ABK around the corner now. Any hour they could close. And it's a great time to be in the Xbox community and play games on Xbox and just gaming in general. So make sure you tune into the shows. Appreciate you all. Hit the like button on your way out. Sub the channel if you have not already. If you like the content, notification bell, all that kind of cool stuff. I greatly appreciate you all for being here on a random Sunday night. Have a good one. Peace out, everybody. Laters. If I can find my outro button. There it is. Peace.